We acknowledge the peoples and ancestors whose land we now share. Move to 2.0. Doc to the agenda. In addition, okay, CEO.
So I've got the Peace Regional Inter-Municipal Collaboration Framework. It's a discussion around a grant application and we need a letter of support for that.
So where do we want to put that?
So we can probably put that as N.
Yeah, we'll just put
CRICF.
Okay.
Then I have the Peace Regional Subdivision and Development Appeal Board appointment. That's PRSDAB appointment, so maybe that's NO.
So that wouldn't go under, no. We can just put that under item O then.
Yes, please. PRSDAB.
It's a mouthful.
What is that one, Kate?
Peace Regional Subdivision and Development Appeal Board.
Okay, that's it.
Appointment, yeah.
Okay.
I have, unsightly properties in the Hamilton Star.
Okay, so item B would be unsightly properties, Hamlet in North Star.
Yeah, I've got one more.
You just let me finish this one. Okay, go ahead.
Previous Reeve, I guess, for my time, Gray Rycroft's wife passed away.
Yes.
And I don't know if council wants to send some flowers or something. It is not in our policy, so it needs to be a council motion.
Mayor for the town again.
Yeah, for the government.
Previous tower. Yeah. Okay, so item Q. Okay, anything else? Seeing nothing, the motion to adopt the agenda with the additions, Councillor Halibisky, all in favor? It's carried. Minutes from our previous meeting was the special meeting we held. So, so any comments coming out of that? If not, we'll get a motion to take those minutes. Okay, Councillor Deckens, all in favor? It's carried. You good, Jessica?
You betcha.
Okay, we can move down to 4.0 allegations. So we have a public hearing.
Sorry, there's two sets of minutes though, I think, right? Like there was our regular and then special. Can we make them in one motion or do we need to?
Did
We need to actually make the council meetings from our July 14th in two motions, because there's two corrections we need to.
Oh, because I thought we adopted those minutes at the special meeting. No.
No, we did.
No, we
okay, sorry, I thought we did. So, Councillor Decken will move the regular meeting minutes, right, with the correction?
Yeah, so there's two corrections. We have to correct the time from 1 AM to 1 PM and then just the location, Halden County Chambers to Halden Cake River.
Okay, so then now I'm looking for a motion for the special meeting. Okay, Councillor Thies will approve the minutes in the special meeting. And that was carried.
Yes, we are good.
Right, so back to 4.0, the public hearing will do at 11 AM. So next item B, we have a grant writing presentation with Michael Walker with Associated Engineering, so you can get him on the screen for us, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. I just got that host disabled screen sharing. Is it possible to get that enabled?
Okay, we'll just check that out for you. In the meantime, while we're doing that, let's just introduce council and administration to you.
Okay.
So Deputy Reeve on my far left.
Good morning, Keelan Sugar, represent Ward 2, Warrensville, La Cornell area.
Morning, Gary Days, Ward 1, Ward River areas.
Good morning, Gloria Decken to Ward 5, North Star Breaking Point.
Good morning, Terry Ungarian, Ward 6, Hotchkiss Hawk Hills.
And the hell is DK Road, Carpenter, Ward 7.
Brent Reeve, Ward 4, David Penny Gallon.
Okay, we have, the men people and the actor, Josh.
Josh Hunter, Director of Finance. And Charles Schwab, Director of Public Works.
And then we'll get to the CEO
And Gareth Stickling, I'm the CEO. Good morning.
and Jessica.
Morning.
The executive assistant, Jessica Gumbs.
And we're just working on getting the screen sharing going here for you.
Okay, yeah, I'll try again here.
So whereabouts are you sitting this morning? Like, are you in the Saskatchewan?
I am in beautiful, partly cloudy Saskatchewan. It's usually sunny, so I usually get to say sunny, but partly cloudy this morning. So yeah, nice to meet all of council and staff. Thank you for the opportunity to spend some time with you here this morning, and hopefully make Director of Finance his job a little bit easier. So should mention I've got Sean Nickel on the line as well. Sean, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I think my audio issues are done. Sean, there you go. Sean Nickel. I manage our Grand Prairie office up here for Associate Engineering.
Okay, well, welcome.
Can you maybe try again sharing?
Yeah, it's still saying host disabled participant screen sharing. Is it possible to make me a co-host or something, and then I can Oh, I'm the host now. I'm the captain.
There's no-
Careful what you do, Jessica. Awesome.
Minutes.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Can you guys see my screen all right?
Oh, yeah, it is coming. Maybe not.
Seeing it's screen sharing, so hopefully.
Yeah, it works on my side.
Yeah, you can see.
Yep.
Okay, we got it now.
You got it? Perfect. Okay, so yeah, I will endeavor to keep this to time. So feel free anytime throughout. There's a lot of acronyms in the grant world. Feel free to let Sean, sorry, I guess I'm admitting people here too. Feel free to interrupt at any point, ask for clarification on acronyms, anything that you don't understand, that sort of thing. As well as I mentioned to Jessica, I'm absolutely happy to do a working group meeting with you guys afterwards if you want to dive in to any details. But yeah, I'm going to try to fit this in as best we can in the time. So yeah, this is the funding toolkit. It's going to cover grants, partnerships, and innovative financing. So not just grants, but we'll try to get to everything there. My name is Mike Walker, and yeah, we'll go from there. Couple pretty pictures at the start. My not most recent, but most recent delivered grant wins. We've got City of Estevan at about $12 million project, and then Fort Capel water treatment plant. We've been working for years on that one. Finally got them about $3.5 million on that one. So good news stories there. And a little bit about myself. I am a civil engineer trained in the beautiful University of Alberta in Northern Alberta. So I do have quite a bit of history in Northern Alberta. I also do project management. I'm a dad. I've got 3 kids. I do a lot of international work as well. You might have seen my background pop up there at the start for FIDIC. So I do a lot of international work as well. And then I have a history as a consultant and a contractor. I worked with E-Construction. But up in your neck of the woods, probably Wapiti would be the equivalent that I worked with. So lots of history there. We've got Highway 88 in the top left. You guys are probably familiar with. Built that like 15 years ago. Some other stuff in Southern Alberta with the Rogers Pass avalanche mitigation. So I got to build some rocket launchers on top of a mountain, which is kind of pretty cool. So I think I've peaked engineering wise from actually delivering stuff. And so what I've started looking at now is how do we actually look at delivering this? So the overall components of the project, because even for my first project, in Beaver County, so just north of Tofield, Alberta. This is Township Road 520. I didn't understand that finance was an integral part to the project. Now, hopefully getting to be a little bit better and combining the two together. So this is usually, I flipped my whole presentation this morning, so you're going to get the fresh version of it. But basically, what we want in project world is happy people, proper budgets, less RFPs, reduced risk, less scope changes, and less stress. Is anyone opposed to any of those? No? Okay, perfect. Now, the question is, why were there elephants on that slide? Anyone got any ideas? Sorry?
Wanna visit Africa?
Because I was actually just in South Africa, so but no, that's not it. Anyone heard, or here, we'll switch gears then to a little bit more recent. So to treat the part, you must understand the whole. Anyone have small kids? Anyone know where this is from? Come on.
Dumbo?
Does that, no, not Dumbo, but you're close. Healer Hand, does that help you?
What?
K-pop Demon Hunter.
K-pop.
So as I was building this presentation a couple of months ago, my kids were listening to or watching K-pop Demon Hunters in the back, and I was like, oh, that's great. To treat the part, you must understand the whole. So we can't just look at the engineering, the project side. We have to look at the overall project finance, because if we cripple the operation based on cash flow because we win you a big grant, but you can't cash flow it, we haven't done our job properly. So we have to look at the holistic view of the operation, of the municipality, of the county, to fully understand it. So that brings us back to what I was originally going to talk about, was the blind man and the elephant parable. And usually we spread this way out, but because I'm time constrained, I'll just go through basically ancient Indian proverb, where in ancient India, they would say, lots of issues with blindness. So in the village, lots of, a couple blind men heard that there was an elephant in town. They had no idea what this elephant was. So they went up to it and they started feeling around on the legs and said, this is strong like a trunk. It must be a tree, trunk of a tree. The other one said, this long thing at the front is pointy. It must be a spear. But the problem was they couldn't see the hole. So what we're looking at now, and what I'm trying to advocate for, is instead of having projects and engineering and finance all looking at different parts of the elephant, we want to take those blindfolds off and look at the entire elephant, the entire beast, and how the interactions can complement each other and not adversely impact each other through either direct conflict or unintended consequences. And because of that, you guys have in your jobs, here we go, you have quite a bit of things going on. Budget management, coordinating public works, you have meeting minutes, RFPs, all that sort of, and then all of a sudden the red stuff comes up, where I think the main character of the story is capital projects, right? However, you have a whole bunch of stuff that probably kept you up at night before your 9 a.m. meeting with an engineer, which I know you were all super excited for. But if we can take part of this and integrate it into the whole, then we will do a better job of that. So the topic du jour is grants. And we want to go through what are they, where to find them, how to go through them. I'm going to give you the AE Grants Group secret sauce. If you choose to work with us, you want to give Sean a call, by all means. If not, you guys want to go after your own grants, fill your boots. I'm just happy when the grant money comes back to Western Canada, because in reality, a lot of the grant money is just our taxes got shipped off east, rebranded, and hopefully we can send them back west. So if we can do that, I think that's a win. If you choose to work with us, even better. I'll talk about financing and funding, how to get grant ready, some grant writing tips and some submission tips. But again, that gets kind of into the weeds. So we'll try to stay high level. So basically, alternate project funding and grants, you're either looking at your money that's in your bank account or someone else's money. Doesn't matter if it's in a bank, design build, P3, federal money, provincial money, whatever it is, it's in somebody else's bank account. So we're going to look at that. And then we want to talk about a loan versus a grant. And I know this is very, very basic, but grants aren't super complex. It's basically, do you have to repay it? or do you not? So ideally, we get you a grant, but if we can't do that, then there's options for loans as well. And those can either be from private banks, private lending institutions, Canadian Infrastructure Bank. There's international banks that can do this as well. Tons of options. So again, not just one piece fits all. Then we want to always remember when we're looking at grants, are they competitive? Is there unlimited money? So if we look at something like the Canada Infrastructure Bank, they have a lot of money available. However, it's not unlimited. But because there's billions there, we can kind of think of it in our realm anyways, that it's relatively good to go. But if you start looking at BCSF, CHIF, any of those, you're starting to look at more of a beauty contest, more of a competitive, and you're going up against other municipalities, other counties from across Canada. Then we also want to look at what the percentages are, because if we go in and we say, you know, your municipalities in Canada, you know, get the 6% of the tax funding, but they're responsible for 60% of the infrastructure. So that gap, that funding gap, is what is really fueling our infrastructure deficit across Canada. And even though you're getting free money, Mayor of Halifax famously said in a meeting a couple of years ago that my municipality can't afford free money anymore. We cannot fund 26% on CHIF, in that example for that province, with 6%. So we have to be very selective on what we're doing. We have to look at how we're getting creative with our funding. And then we also look at increased climate impacts that are happening that are causing more infrastructure spending. So again, keep an eye on those numbers, because not all grants are created equal. Some might be 50-50 and your cash flow might be impacted because of that. Some will get money up front and some you have to get reimbursed after. So, and that then brings up the big question, why are we talking with an engineer about grants? Don't they just do engineering, build things, pumps and whatever? Well, if you look all the way down in the bottom right of this thing, this is our full suite of services at AE, Associated Engineering. We've got 21 offices across Canada. Grant funding is a very, very small, we're quiet about what we do. Water's a big thing, roads are a big thing. We don't usually put up, you know, awards for grant funding, that sort of thing. But we definitely do help out with that. And we're pretty decent at it. So this is my proof in the pudding slide, where in the last 6 years, we started tracking this. We are at about an 85% win rate. We are super proud of. The win rate for the average Canadian federal grant submission is significantly lower. We were a little happy on, or a little generous on the spinning wheel on the right. But if you've ever been at any of our events where we have the big spinning wheel, you know, you can win something. I personally like spinning on the one on the left. Sometimes it does hit lose. Sometimes the one on the right hits win, such is life. But the odds definitely increase when you stack your deck. So yeah, and we actually just won a bunch more recently. So this is about an 85% win rate. But the average Canadian grant submission, and this blends, this is a really hard number to pull out of Stats Canada. So we were generous with the 25%, but depending what that grant is, it could be as low as 15%. These can be small things such as training grants. This can be large capital infrastructure grants. This could be absolutely anything that they do. So again, a little bit hard to do apples to apples, but we are approaching $800 million funded for communities across Western Canada in the last 6 years. We are the largest one that we can find. If you can find somebody bigger, please correct me, but we have been so far unable to. Our largest competition, which I will talk about our competition in the future slides on this, or other companies that do this. Next biggest one is Grant Match. They're at about 300 million reported in the last 6 years, so time, space, and they're at a 75% win rate. However, they run a different model where they will take 10%. I just got a call a couple days ago where they said, hey, we won, but now we need to pay $1 million to Grant Match for the pleasure of doing business with them. You know, we wish we would have gone with you guys. And that's fine. We'll still help them out, but just know what you're getting into. And all of a sudden their $11 million project is now a $10 million project. And they don't get anything else for that.
Well, Michael, can I jump in with a question?
Yep.
So if they take a 10% fee, how is yours fee structured?
Yeah, so what we basically do, it depends what you need up front. Generally, we go by level of effort of the grant. So the cheapest ones, like a Chris grant, we'll do for free. It takes 10 minutes, as long as you know your name and your address, we'll help you fill out the form. It's 3 pages, super easy. Something like a CHIF or an LLCA grant through the Green Municipal Fund of FCM make us go through a bunch more hoops. So we're finding that we're putting in about somewhere between 40 to 70 hours on that. So what we do is we bill, usually for those, we'll say $5,000 upfront, which is recoverable. So that amount is recoverable by the grant as well. So if you win, you get that $5,000 back. But that helps us then focus our people that are otherwise doing projects to be able to have a project number, go after it. Sometimes we'll go over that amount, and we eat that. We put some skin in the game too, but it just helps us do it. So $5,000 versus, in this case, $1 million. So far, it's working for us, and that is a component that has helped us, I think, get that 85%. To be totally honest.
Thank you.
Yeah, but if there are reports, if there's something that is needed, like if you need a big feasibility report, what we will do is we will actually leverage grant into grant. So what we can do is taking the Chris grant into the LLCA feasibility grant into the BCSF grant. We can actually get you 100% covered for the initial funding to get the feasibility study done, maybe 90% on the LLCA. And then depending what the BCSF is, which stream you go with, we can actually leverage those one into the next. So we can minimize that amount. We can actually get that $5,000 paid for by another grant as well, which is
Question on that.
Yeah,
Is there like a ceiling or a cap on that $5,000 thing? So you ask for any grant application, a maximum of $5,000?
Yeah, well, depending what it is, right? If
Yeah.
you come to us and say we need this gigantic study done ahead of time, well, then we have to look at that. We'll work with you on it. But yeah, it's per grant application for, let's say, LLCA, we've put a cap at 5,000 on it right now.
Yeah, because I'm working on a grant application right now, and they require a climate change workshop as part of that as well, right? Before we can submit the grant. So that was, above and beyond, but it's still, we're still well under 10% of the value of the project. We're, maybe
Right.
maybe over 0.5%, maybe by the time we're done, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's what a lot of the clients I've worked with have said is, that to leverage to get $8 million, a $5,000 investment, there's still a little lose thing on that wheel, right? We do lose grants, but usually, most recently, we've been losing them because the grants have been oversubscribed, not because they're not eligible. So that's where we're going to get into some grant tips in a little bit, but I'm going to try to fly through the next couple of slides here. Just cut me off when my time's up. Okay, so a lot of these grants, basically I track right now, I think my active list has about 76 grants on it currently, some big, some small, some traffic grants, some safety grants, some big stuff like BCSF. The most recent one I just won was 23 million. We're very happy with that. I've got a council meeting tomorrow night for that one, so they're absolutely ecstatic. But there are a whole bunch out there. So there's CHIF, BCSF, ICIP is dead, but that's fine. You can look at your gas tax, which is built into BCSF now, but a lot of these are moving the names over time. So sign up to the FCM list, make sure you know which is which, and then they will also announce new ones when they come out. Provincial government, I got a couple listed there. We've got Canada Infrastructure Bank. We have a partnership with Sofiac where we can help leverage that for you. FCM I talked about there, a couple options if you want to get into buildings, roads, drainage, whatever it might be. Chris is the Climate Ready Infrastructure Service, so that is by the Canadian Urban Institute. That is a great entrance in. It allows you $24,000 to be able to do studies, open houses, anything like that to be able to move forward. And then, like I said, the secret sauce right now is leverage Chris into FCM into BCSF. probably change when new stuff comes out, but that's currently what we're doing. And then there's a bunch of other ones private. You can get insurance companies to fund Canada Infrastructure, Insurance Bureau of Canada just released that they have a massive climate induced spend on the on insurance side. So leveraging with them being able to reduce their risk and exposure by building infrastructure is going to be something that is going to be increasingly big. We've seen that in southern Alberta with the floods. We're seeing it with some of the fires in the north and flooding throughout Manitoba right now. So lots of options. Happy to chat. Sorry, this is just a little snip from my my thing. We generally go after these 4 primarily right now. BCSF is in there taking its place from CHIF. But like I said, we've got 76 tracking otherwise. Some level of effort, base 5,000 you see on the right there. Chris is a 0. It's not even worth us setting up at the time. It's so fast. Go from there. Green Municipal Fund has the opportunity funder. So if you want to find that, instead of just going to Google, you can go to that one. I'll send you guys a copy of these slides here at the end. You can go through them. The finder will help you. You just click through, say, hey, I'm a municipality and I want, new building retrofit. Great. Off you go. And it's got all the details there. There's quite a bit, but it can take some time to go through. Other things, like I mentioned, you got Grant Match, you got Alberta Grant Watch, Grant Gazette. There's lots of services that will do this for you. We are just one. We also happen to have an engineering problem that we do on the side, but there's lots of things available. So the municipal affairs site, you can go to BCSF, you can get the lots of documents from the feds, but it can be a little bit overwhelming. So we do have a dedicated grant group. There's a couple people in Northern Alberta. So you've got Andrew Christopher, Sean online with me here. And then you've also got Jeff Erlam. So Andrew and Jeff based out of Edmonton, Sean out of GP. So lots of local options. And then if we need to leverage as well, we're kind of network, say Peter finds something in Ontario that's applicable. We share that around. We make sure that communities that don't have enough money to meet their infrastructure needs can help leverage some of this and kind of help that out. Then Sofiac mentioned this one. What Sofiac does is the fund backed by the Canada Infrastructure Bank. So if you have a efficiency upgrade, so let's say you've got a rink, you've got arena, buildings, municipal, whatever, and you want to improve your energy spend, furnace efficiencies, chillers, whatever it might be, you can actually pay the grant or the loan back at a very, very low interest rate with the savings, the cost savings that you would have from the utilities. So that is another option. You do have to pay back some of the money, but you can do it. And they will also go in and do a bunch of the testing for you. There's a lot of off ramps. There's a lot of safety. So you aren't handcuffed to the project. And we can help you throughout that as well, acting as owner's engineer to kind of make sure that your best interests are in mind. And then a whole bunch of philanthropic stuff too, if you're doing a hospital or something like that. Lots of options there. We've got connections like Global Philanthropic that can help out, but that's a whole other ballgame. Okay, how to get grant ready? Really, do you want to be proactive, reactive? If you knew that, the grant was closing, this is an old slide, but if you knew the grant was closing November 29th, very bad to find out about this on November 30th. Nice to know that it's coming out ahead of time. So what we're seeing is a lot of LLCA now actually telling us when the next opening is, which is in October. So we have time to get prepped for it, time to get ready, get everything set up, and then go. We can dust it off, submit it, get it shovel ready, all that sort of fun stuff. And then when the grants open, we're the first one through the door to avoid that oversubscribed. Because a lot of grants right now, they're doing what's called a rolling intake. And instead of getting all of their submissions by the date that they close, evaluating them and ranking them, they're doing them as they come in. And so they evaluate it. If it meets the criteria, it goes into the approved pile. And then the approved pile grows until the money runs out. And then they say, for everyone else, yeah, yours was great, but you'll have to put it in next intake. So we would prefer to submit early and on time, as opposed to waiting until it comes out, you know, thinking about it, getting it on the agenda for the next council meeting. Maybe it gets bumped because there's, you know, other important things going on. Then you panic, you throw it together, and then maybe you submit right at the end and you find out that it's oversubscribed, and that hurts. We don't like that. So proactive is what we advocate for, but up to you guys how you want to do it. Now, I realize I am at or beyond time. Do you want to put a pin in it here and take it offline, or?
How much time would you need to finish up?
I've got 16 slides left. I could probably give me 5 minutes. I can rock through this.
Okay, let's do that.
That work? Okay, awesome. Thank you. So grant writing 101, establish the need. If you baseline and we've got your asset management plan, if you don't have an asset management plan, we can get you grant for an asset management plan. We can go in, figure out what your infrastructure deficit is, then figure out what your infrastructure needs are, and then come up with a 10-year capital plan. We can get that paid usually at about 80% coverage. If we then go into your budgets, we figure out, we work with your director of finance. Instead of, you know, working public works here and finance here, bring everyone together at the table, work together to make sure that we're financing this properly and we're cash flowing it properly. Then we look at, is it regulatory driven? Are there social impacts? Or are there safety impacts? If there's any of the social, regulatory, or safety impacts, sometimes we can get grants from different entities as well. But first and foremost, follow the instructions. This is what I get back from all the grant writing things when we do debriefs. The number one thing that they kick grants out for is they did not follow the instructions. They filled out the wrong form. They filled out their own form. They put it in an Excel file when it should have been in a Word file. They didn't PDF it. Little things like that can really, really shoot you in the foot. So as simple as it is, follow the instructions. So use the forms. Some are simple, some are complex. The FCM forms, I am not a huge fan of them. I found errors in their spreadsheets, but we've been working together. They're usually pretty good. As long as we have time before the thing closes, we can figure out the errors, we can get that changed. Submit in the correct format. Famously, ICIP wanted a KMZ file plopped into a Word document as an image, and that's what they wanted. If you did it wrong, hopefully they would contact you and say you didn't do this right, but it's silly little things like that that, you know, the feds want in a certain way. Just make it easy for them. Make them smile when they open up your proposal, as opposed to say, oh, we have to deal with this again, right? Then have those supporting documents. Sean's saying, yeah, we're doing that open house, we're doing that report, we're doing that reference document. Third party helps, because if you have your Reeve or your mayor and say, you know, we got a bunch of these, not from you guys, but we got a bunch where small communities would say the road in front of the mayor's house needs to get paved because the mayor says it's in bad shape. And so if we can get third party on that, it gives some legitimacy to it, because we don't want to have that lopsided feel where people aren't doing the right thing. Then we want to use keywords. If they're talking about connect, improve, enhance, increase capacity, they're talking about climate resilience, we want to use those words over and over and over again, because the people that are reviewing this are not technical people. They don't, it's not that they're bad people, they just don't understand pump curves or that sort of thing. That, you know, their realm is the increased capacity, enhance. Most of the people reviewing these are early 30s with a fine arts degree, is the ones that I have run into, mass majority. So again, not bad people. We just need to write to what they're looking for, because we're playing the game and we want to win. Then we want to have time for review. We don't want to have a special council meeting that, you know, Friday night, you guys have to get together to approve this thing. That's not, doesn't make anyone happy. Never promise what you can't deliver. So if you can't get the permits, if you need third party, don't promise it. Never say insure or guarantee, or your insurance people get really mad at you. Know your audience. Again, know what they care about. Most of the time, this is equated to a political election agenda or election schedule. So know who you're getting the money from and when the next election is, if you're trying to complete the project in time so that ribbons can be cut, you know, plaques can be put up, all that sort of fun stuff. and no need to be fancy. This doesn't need to be professionally bound or anything like that. Just put it in the right format. Usually they're PDF, they're usually electronic now, but you don't need to be fancy. Then getting into grant submission tip, getting shelf ready is now generally considered about 5 or 10% design. Shovel ready, according to the feds, is no longer this month you can put a shovel on the ground. It's now 2 years until you can put a shovel in the ground. So that changes drastically what type of projects are considered shovel ready. I don't agree with that. I think shovel ready should be this year, but they're saying out until 2028 at this point qualifies as shovel ready. So take that as it is. Have your supporting documents, reports, consider election cycles, know your audience. And it is a beauty pageant. Make sure that it does look good. It doesn't need to be fancy, but it does need to be worth, if you're going after a $23 million grant, the proposal should look like it's worth 23 million bucks. Get help submitting, stack your deck, call my buddy Sean, and then submit early, avoid that oversubscribed. And the feedback that I got from this, FCM, when they did their application 2 years ago, last fall, they had a pre-application that nobody knew about. It looked like you were submitting the application, but then there was a 5-day review cycle after that. So it wasn't really well communicated. And then because of that, the applications were severely undersubscribed, which meant that everyone that applied won the money if they met the criteria, which is great for the people that we got in. We got 100% win rate on that one. That was great. But make sure that you give yourself enough time to hit the pre-app, do the pre-application, have the meeting, have the 5-day review, fill out the forms, then hit submit. So it's, again, give us a call. We'll walk you through it and go from there. And that is that. So basically we want to look at program level approach, the whole elephant. We want to utilize grants, help you out, and we want to have some smiles on our faces by the time that we're done.
Okay, thanks, Michael and Sean. So we'll just see if there's any quick questions from council. I have one. So I see a lot of your stuff is related to the housing infrastructure grants, kind of more urban things. Like we don't have a lot of those types of needs. And you don't talk, you touched on the provincial grant stream, but probably the biggest one that we struggle with is STIP grants. You're probably familiar with that.
Yep.
Economic orders. And I know that that's very oversubscribed, so that's probably just what it's going to be. It's not, but have you had much success in helping municipalities with those? Because that's where we really
we've done a fair bit of work up here at Birchland County, where I happen to be today, working on their STIP grant program and their bridge inspection program. We've been fairly successful in getting those grant programs through. Honestly, it does impact, the condition of the structure and everything else like that. It does have a fair variance. But when we're asking for, I guess one of the biggest successes with Birch Hills was basically having an inventory of what their assets were, right, and their overall condition. So we knew which ones to ask for, which ones are the critical ones, and we started going after those.
Yeah, that's basically the best way to go, is get that asset management up first. And it doesn't, sorry, I may have focused a little heavily on what could be perceived as the municipal side of things, or the urban side of things, but a lot of these grants will we go heavy on drainage, we go heavy on bridges, really depending what it is. But if we can understand what that elephant looks like from that asset management and help build that 10-year plan, if you guys don't have that already, then we can come in and give some advice on that, and help move forward with what your elephant looks like, not what Calgary's or Edmonton's look like.
Yeah, exactly. Different beasts, right?
Exactly.
And the other one that we seem to have a direct line to is, if you're even out there not, is rural water lines, like water distribution lines. Like what was it, PFRA or whoever, there was some agencies that helped on that quite substantially. There's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I think the municipalities, the province, and the feds all contributed. Now we're taking this on 100% ourselves. And it's kind of got prohibitive of how we can continue on with this. So do you see any place that we're not looking there where there could be grant money?
Yeah, so water lines are an interesting one because you've got the actual consumption piece, which is what most people focus on. What we've been focusing on is fire suppression as well. So when you're looking at wildfires, anything to do with urban fires as well, you can layer that into the consumption side, so that housing enabling infrastructure is what the feds are calling it, is, you know, water first consumption. But if we can also look at water looping, we've got increased pump stations for fire suppression. Also looking at indoor air quality for a lot of municipal buildings. Lots of success on that right now, and it's a really non-standard way of trying to get funding for either new infrastructure, looping, resiliency added into your water lines. So there are options. It just depends. These grants come up, they go away. It's something, if we're proactive and we're ready for it, when we hear this is coming up, then, you know, I hear something, I can talk to Sean and say, yeah, you know, Northern Lights could utilize this. Let's get them ready for that, dust that project off that was on the shelf, and be ready to go in October or whenever the new grant comes out.
Also, any questions? Again, make a notes.
I've already received my full presentation, so.
Well,
Better the second time, yeah.
No, you did great.
Thanks.
I like your spin the wheel. It looks pretty attractive, but
We actually have the real wheels too, so if you ever want to spin them, you could win a chocolate bar or a little. We get the little gold loonies.
well, it's not $20 million.
Oh, it feels really good to get that email that 23 million bucks comes in. So that was a happy day.
Well, if there's no further questions, we'll let you go and we'll continue on with our meeting, and we'll discuss this at some point and see if we want to, you know, maybe meet further and see what we can move this. Like we've always understood that there's lots of grants out there. We just don't know. We don't seem to get maybe our share some days. It's kind of the perception, and maybe there's maybe we're just not attacking it strongly enough. So thanks, you guys, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks so much. Thanks for the time, and yeah, sorry for going a little bit over.
Yep. Have a great day, you guys.
Have a good day. Bye. Oh, you might want to remove me as what's it called too, as Peter of me, so I don't kill your entire meeting. Yeah. I'll wait.
You might actually have to boot me back to being the host.
Okay. Where is the? It's not giving me the usually options that I see, so you might already be actually. Oh, here you go. Gotcha. All yours. Okay, you should be good now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, 5.0, we'll skip over that until after our public hearing. So we can move down to 6.1.1. Item A is Alberta Municipalities upcoming convention. So I guess if we're looking at anybody attending, we just need to get a motion to give approval. And I think we had a couple that indicated that Galen, you were interested in attending.
Yeah, already registered.
Pardon me.
Just Kayla and I.
And you as well. Okay. Okay, Councillor Decken moves that we register Deputy Reeve Shug and CEO Stickland for the Alberta Munis.
I think we did already register, so we were able to capitalize on the early bird pricing.
I think the registration was done, catch the early bird, but we'll just put it in
Yeah.
motion here to.
Yeah, no, just for clarity though.
Could you just detail what the benefits you think might be of this? Well, I can comment on that. I mean, one of our biggest expenses at the moment is towards the urbans, and it's nice to see what the other side, if you can call it that, are actually telling their members. So that would be our heavy unis telling Down on Manning, Down on Grimshaw, as well as Peace River. So from that point of view, we attended, as in myself, the Reeve, and I think it was Gary that I think at 1 in 2024, and the value we got out of that was actually quite substantial. So definitely valuable. Okay, thanks.
I think a lot of these small urbans really identify more rurals, you know, like this conference includes Calgary, Edmonton, and Berlin, you know, I mean, such a variety of municipalities, so.
Yeah, and for me, I think we encourage the small urbans that surround us all the time to attend our conference because we think that they would find value there, so. I would like to just go and see if there's value for us. And on the flip side.
Okay, so we have a motion standing, so any other discussion? If not, all in favor? That's carried. Item B is the RPAC conference that's coming up in Peace River this fall, looking for swag requests for all the attendees coming from across Alberta, and Trinity have made up a nice little.
Just table of options. You guys asked to bring back some options, so there is a list and some prices, and I believe there's pictures attached, what they are. Sort of mock-ups.
I can't find that now, but of course, the most expensive one I like the most. The little power banks are nice, but they're very expensive, so.
The only thing personally I would say there is something like that costs $17, not typically a very good product. I had a few of those personally that don't last very long. Yeah, I don't know with what we were given to go off of, we just tried to give you a range of things.
Is there different places where you can get prices, or is this just one place that you?
No, I believe this is a combination of a local store as well as, there's a couple big online ones that you can get things from as well.
So my personal comment would be, we have the little first aid kits, I don't know if to say one or not, but something similar. They were really sought after at the trade shows. People would see that somebody else got one, they'd come over and, well, can we get one of them? And especially this is going to the health conference, might be appropriate, but I guess you could say the same thing about the bandage dispenser, but that's.
What about the bone mints?
To see that.
The which?
The mints that are shaped like
yeah.
bones.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just
you
kidding.
could do mints and the first aid kit, or the bandage and the minced combination of them. Just scroll down to the prices, Jessica, there.
These are the prices here.
I don't know if we had set a budget before, I guess we wanted prices before we could, this would come out of council grants, I'm assuming, or do we have a healthcare budget somewhere, or?
You do have a little one, but not for things like this. This would be out of your council grants. And I don't, been so long now, I don't remember if you set a budget or not.
I don't think we did, because we didn't know what we were talking about, right? So now we do.
Yeah, I think you just asked for pricing options. Yeah.
So it was council hearing, you're on that host committee there, any thoughts, any preference?
Not really,
Yeah, I agree, Josh, I mean, those $17.50 power banks, get all excited, but you use them once and that's about it, right?
I mean, they had the hot cold packs and I mean, that's quite popular too, so.
Are they?
They've had them a few times, I remember. I'm not sure we need a travel mask, but
You know.
any of the other ones would probably,
It's just not much for the expense.
first aid kits, so I think that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, first aid kit, everyone, my God, okay, I'm hearing a majority, you'd be okay with that, on the other, on the end, so. Just need a motion to, have administration get that taken care of, and like you say, have to order, I'm sure there's another time between now and October.
Yeah.
I can make that motion.
Lots of fees, rules approval of supplying 200 first aid kit with the RPAP conference. All in favor? Carried. 2027 calendars. So I guess really what looking for is, do we want any other significant dates added to there? So
And then just the call out to the last council meeting, it's on December 28th.
Yeah, so
2027,
that
so
would be noted on the calendar then too, if it was canceled, which I would assume we would cancel that. We always have canceled that one over the Christmas break. The only one that I thought would be, like, we might want to consider, and then that's totally up to council, is National Indigenous Day, wherever it is in June. But it's probably on there as a holiday anyway, right?
I believe so.
In September, so that would already be on there.
the Truth and Reconciliation Day,
Pardon me?
Truth and Reconciliation.
Is that, yeah, I guess
Yes.
that's what it's called, yeah, so that's a staff holiday now.
Yes, it is,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, other than that, I didn't see anything else. I mean, there's pretty much we declare a day for something all year long, but I don't think we're gonna get kind of the key ones are listed there, so.
A question, Chairman, so are we taking the December 28th out of the calendar and not put it in the calendar?
Well,
We're
I mean-
cancelling in the
No,
early
you
days.
didn't make them all, but we cancel it throughout the year if we need to, like in October or November, don't we?
We could do that today, then that way,
It's not reflecting in the calendar.
Yeah.
yeah. So, I don't know if you wanna have separate motions, that we cancel the December 28th meeting. And then,
Or we can just make a note, and when we do the ordinance meeting, and not the ordinance meeting, the
Organizational.
organizational meeting, we can just do it then.
Yeah.
But then we don't put it in the calendar.
yeah. Okay, so nobody's got anything else that. Well, we just accept this information under.
Maybe acknowledge that she wants to add those ones.
Yeah, so
The proposed events below is what she's asking if we can include it.
Yeah, we can put in there, we can, to,
I'll make the motion, add the events and dates listed above to the 27 calendar.
and not, and we haven't mentioned what the December 28th meeting or.
Yeah, if we do it now, then we don't have to worry about it.
So-
I'll add that to it if you want.
I do have approved list of events and direct administration to cancel council meeting on December 28th, 2027.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Any questions, clarification? Not all in favor? It's carried. Okay, item D, shared outlook calendars and monthly calendars. The verbal report, who's from Jessica?
Yeah, so I was gonna partner up with Kaylin a little bit on this one, but last month, Kaylin and I, we thought that we would pilot having her share her calendar with me just for ease of booking meetings, you know, knowing where the counselors are. I do also have access to Gerhard, so we piloted the two calendars this month and it went really well to know, okay, we're gonna book this meeting, where Kaylin is, where Gerhard is. So I wanted to, I'll share share what the calendar looks like. So that way everybody can see what,
This is the calendar right in our Outlook.
yes. So this is our Outlook calendar. So right now you can see to the left is my calendar. And then to the right in purple is Kaylin's. So I can see all of her meetings. So these are the ones that I've scheduled through our shared council ones and also ones that she has individually accepted. So we were thinking maybe we could move to where our councilors are using their shared Outlook agendas or Outlook calendars. And then sharing them with me, and then I can see all of the meetings that are going on. So when we're trying to book, future meetings or even just doing like ward reports, making sure that everything aligns. And then also with this, I utilize Kaylin's calendar. And then I updated our monthly schedules, which is this one right here. I also went and just adjusted it so it's easier on our readers' eyes. So here I can, it's almost like a double check. Hey, where did our counselors go this month? This is, I'm just gonna add it onto the calendar because I think it's important for our county residents to know what where our counselors are, what they're up to, where we're participating and just having that information. So that's kind of where we were going with this. And then I would also like to add on our shared calendar any vacations from council. If now that we're in the summer months, well, we are currently in the summer months, so it would be nice to be like, okay, Brenda's on vacation from this lot. I know Kaylin has vacation coming up here in the next week or two. So having that information also shared with counselors and just kind of aligning us and having, that communication.
Just understanding that our vacation is very ad hoc, and I might also, we're gonna go to Jasper for the weekend or whatever, that decided the night before, right? So it's not like we're employees that we schedule vacation time off. So I mean, we were trying our best to predict that, right?
No, absolutely. And I totally agree that there's going to be one-offs. Even as employees, we do have those spontaneous vacations. But I think if there's those weekend vacations are pretty easy to accommodate. It's, Terry, you going out of the country for 2 weeks, right? Having those vacations maybe, known, and then we know, okay, Deputy, Shug is going to have to step in for those 2 weeks, and just having more just communication and just those aspects.
I get your thinking, just letting out that, it is spontaneous, like you said.
Oh, yes.
So I think what kind of spurred it for me is we get this monthly calendar, and then I was finding like by the time I even see it on the agenda that it's posted, I've already added like meetings to my calendar, and there's no way for anybody to know. And I firmly believe that whatever's on our ward report and whatever this is our check and balance for how we're getting paid, right? Like if it's not on your ward report and it's not on this calendar, how come you're billing for it, right? So there's that double piece of it there. But yeah, lots to know, right? Like, I mean, Terry, if you're gone, I need to know. If I'm gone, you need to know. We can't cover each other if we don't know. But also just, yeah, to be clear and upfront. And then when we have council meetings where we're like, when's everybody available? We're not sitting here wasting 10 minutes going, well, I can do this day, but not this day, not this day. Then admin could overlay our calendars. I mean, Jessica just showed me in 2 seconds what that looked like. It was really easy and go, okay, these are the only available days. Like, let's work smarter, not harder, was my thought.
And then Kaylin, just to piggyback off that, I did in our monthly schedules did say the date that these are updated. So they will always be updated on the date that the agenda package gets shared. So, and I did put that there so that anybody looking is aware that there is potential changes to the calendar. It's just, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got 2 comments. So if any of council is not very familiar with the concept of Outlook calendars, please schedule some time with us and we can give you a little bit of background training on that. It's actually very easy to use once you see how it works.
Yeah,
And-
click and type. It's
and
way
they might-
easier.
And there might be some concerns that some of the meetings are private and you don't want anybody to see, I'm going to the doctor and this is my notes or whatever that I made, whatever. there is an option of clicking private and we can't see those comments that you, or that what the meeting is for, it just shows private.
Yeah, none of my private appointments are in there, and if they are, it's just listed, I think I put out of town.
I think so. It's,
But you can literally,
Yeah.
there's like an option where you click private meeting and we can't see the content of it.
Okay, well, guess this is, I mean, we had these types of things before, but this is just a little more different format and gonna be more detailed. And then we have the Outlook stuff. I guess we'll probably see how the ordinance meeting goes today. If there's time, we just, they say it's simple to do. And we can just give us a quick basic training on that because,
absolutely.
Because that is how that is how we're double checking our expense reports, right? Because like, no, we're not doing it as counselors peer to peer, it's being done internally. Are they being compared to what's on our board reports?
As of right now, the ward reports aren't being compared to anything. It's simply just the time cards.
So
So
you can put whatever on the time card, it doesn't have to correlate to anything else.
we are, the ward reports do tend not to have all the detailed information and the previous events and upcoming events.
okay, so let's get a motion to accept this report for information.
Or are we going to try to implement something and get everybody to try it?
Well, we're all gonna try it.
So that,
Well,
should that be
accept
part of the
information and implement the schedule, monthly schedule updates or how do you want to word that?
Kevin, you should make the motion.
Shoot, oh,
Just after, you know, do that, we'll get it, so we can't see it.
Okay, so I have acknowledged receipt of the shared Outlook calendar and monthly calendar verbal requests and accept it for information and implement shared Outlook calendars with all council.
Is it, was it
Councilors.
councilors and CEO or admin? Or-
well, I was already there, so.
Yeah.
Read that again.
Okay, acknowledge receipt of the shared Outlook calendars and monthly calendars verbal requests. And accept for information and implement shared council calendars on Outlook with administration.
Somebody want to make that motion?
I can move.
Okay, Councilor Shannon. Okay. Any questions, clarification? All in favor? Very good. Let's knock off a couple more before we take a break. Item E is RMA zone resolutions. This is we can discuss how we want to support or not support them. There's 4 of them. We've got them open there. So first one. Non-payment of municipal fire suppression emergency response costs by utility companies. So we had a situation like that a few years ago, ATCO line caused a wildfire and I think that they did make good on it, but apparently that's not always the case. We'll see where I would have a problem not supporting this.
But I think it's a no-brainer.
The next one for Northern Sunrise, this is a reoccurring one that hasn't got anywhere, obviously, the casino opportunities for charitable organizations. It's just that inequity between the small casinos and the big city ones, or
Yeah, I think they recently had like some change at their higher level in their board of directors, so. I think this is why they're bringing it forward, because there might actually be a hope that we get some some change.
Yeah, so I mean, we've supported this multiple times in the past, I guess we continue to support it. And then RMA is putting one forward, modernization of the Municipal Investment Authority. So I guess we trust we know what they're doing, they're working for us, so.
That one's from the MDFPs.
Okay, that is,
Yeah, I'm very cautious on that one, because I mean, we're working with public money here, so we're gonna start investing in cryptocurrencies and those type of things. It is a high gain, high risk environment.
Josh, do you have any thoughts on this resolution? Being that kind of in your.
Yeah, sorry, which I was answering a bunch of things, the casino one or the.
Modernization.
Investment one?
Investment.
I've often thought that what we're legally allowed to invest in is super boring. But that is for a reason, so, it comes with a lot of risk if you try to open that up. I understand why people are doing it, because really, when you are sitting on the amount of investment opportunity funds that we sit on as municipalities, to use that to get a 3% return is kind of wasteful. Nobody in the real world would ever do that with their money if they were sitting on that much. However, depending on what you do with that ability, like if you give me the power to do that and I then in turn throw it all in Dogecoin and lose it all, that is a problem. So it puts a lot of potential power in positions such as mine. Obviously can be handled through policy and stuff. So personally, not against opening it up a little bit. I know there's a lot of investment firms right now that are trying to be creative to get around it. So they're creating things like principal protected notes that they just take money from you and invest it in a bunch of other things anyway, which works well for them because they make more money, guarantee you a return and charge you a fee. I don't know what else you want to know, but it's could be good, could be bad. Well, it's definitely going to open up the door for risk that would have to be mitigated by each municipality.
So higher returns generally translate to higher risk.
100%, yeah. So, but you're like, what you guys invest in right now is zero risk to the point where a lot of the providers, like I get rates from all sorts of different firms, but they're all probably the same. So you basically wait till one gets greedy and tries to cut back, make more money off what they're giving you, and then somebody else will buy your business, and then you go through that cycle for 5 years, and then you shuffle it again. And that's really all we can do. So there's room for improvement, I think, but it needs to be done very carefully.
yeah, I mean, and that's what they're there for, to be resolved is they wanna amend it so they can expand it, but who sets the parameters of what you can, you know, who interprets that?
Yeah.
I guess whoever rates EMJ would have to be tasked with that.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
Josh, wouldn't you be the one to come to us if you thought this was a better place to invest? I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not really quite as specific as you're getting, right? Like, I think whoever wrote this, their goal is to basically see better returns than we're seeing with the options we have available right now. So the only way to do that right now is to invest in things we're not currently allowed to invest in, right? More or less. There's other ways to get creative too, but I haven't brought anything like this to you because we cannot do it, and I don't really have the free time to pursue it this way.
So if it was opened up more, would you, the things that jumped into your head that we could be investing in to increase our.
Okay, so even the basic, like your basic index or mutual funds have outperformed everything you guys can invest in. So put some in there, absolutely, right? From the simplest point of view. Not all of it, obviously, some of it, for sure. It's really no different than what we're.
Well,
But that's what we're getting at, you would have to.
Somebody would have to do it,
Yeah.
right? Or you would pay, like, just like anything else, you can pay portfolio managers. We have. Delegated authority to two of our providers who actually. Have some form of active management in our holdings with their firms. So they have the ability to do that, however, that ability only extends to things that we're allowed to invest in, so they can. Reinvest and trade bonds essentially, which is. There's not a whole lot of upside, whereas when you look at opening up things like mutual funds, it can be a lot. Better, I guess, in the short term to have somebody doing that. But it all comes at a cost, and I do not have the luxury of time. To be an active day trader for you guys, nor is that my training, so I would not do that.
But yours. What we're sort of talking about is. From one end to the other, like you, right now, we're really. Hamstrung to. Like really getting nothing. For it, whereas, and you don't have to go to crypto to, but you could go. A little further into the situation.
Yeah.
And get a realistic. Return on it without being too. Being real. Chancy with our money.
Yeah. But in theory, anytime you leave bonds and GICs, you lose principal protection. And you do have now the risk of not recouping what you've put in. So I understand the original premise of this. This is public money. That has always been an emphasis, right? Principal protection first. And then I think actually our policy is principal protection, then liquidity, and then return. So, which is why on average, we're seeing 2 to 3.5%, right? Depending on what the economy does. Whereas when you look at other stock indexes and things, guys over the last 3 years have seen 14 to 20%, right?
Yeah. So I think those three principles are very important, right? I mean, we're not investors out trying to make, a home run, right? We're there simply to protect our reserves. And be able to liquidate them if situation comes, and if we happen to make a little bit, that's, in which we have, right? I mean, we've always traditionally earned a little bit on them, so.
You will always, I think the member thing though here is it's what you're actually getting, and with how high inflation's been, it's deteriorating, right? So. You're not gaining a whole lot more. And there's just no real room for an absorbent amount of creativity in the public sector financial markets, so. Yeah, I'm not against it, but I think even if it was a broadly published rule. You wouldn't see all municipalities pursue anything different than what we're doing. Anyway, it would have to be handled. It's just. It increases your guys' risk for a maybe, I guess, right?
And who would assume there is, would it be council, would it be administration?
Yeah. Well, just municipalities. Yeah. No, you would open the door to. Actually fire people based on their investment performance. Right, I don't know. Yeah.
That too.
Let's hear them.
Yeah.
Try, justify what they're proposing there.
I'm sure this will be a debate there.
It's interesting that the MD of Peace is bringing that.
Well, because I think one of them.
Well, yeah, she's big on the crypto world, right? But I don't know if that's what she's looking at.
That's terrifying.
Yes.
But yeah, we never.
I mean, if we can expand what we're allowed to invest in and still hold those three principles, then yeah, why not? I mean, who's gonna?
And I think there was, I read a story quite a few years ago now, but one of the municipalities down south was doing an experience where they were accepting Bitcoin as payment. But we're not allowed to hold it as an investment, so it was great in flexibility of people paying, but you couldn't actually see any gains or losses from it because you just had to get paid and then cash it in right away.
So it's just money transactions.
So people might be looking at that if you're gonna accept it, maybe hold some, but again, the risk tied to that is substantial.
So this one, we're kind of sitting on the fence and we'll kind of see what the mood. If this does pass the zone, might have a tough time passing the provincial resolution, but see what kind of a sales job they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just kind of leave that one in, kind of in the lurch there, and then, the last one is the weather stations, which again, we'll see where there'd be any problem not supporting that. Gonna come at a cost, which most resolutions do. I don't know if anybody got comments in it. I mean, this mostly affects probably the risk management for agriculture, but it's also for other sectors too, and emergency management, I guess, so. Yeah, support that one, yeah. Okay, let's just accept our RMA resolutions for the zone meeting as this information. You make that motion, Councillor Lecken,
Perfect.
all in favor? Carried. Item F, the 2026 student bursary recipients. We've met one of them this morning. So there was quite a few of them, eh? Was it 10 this year?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, I think 14, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it was a very tough job, but there were all good submissions.
yeah. Well, it's,
The one thing we don't know who it is.
Yeah.
At least I don't.
Until they're important. But you can figure it out.
And we do that on purpose.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's all, no, it's better not.
Yeah.
okay, so I guess we just need a motion to acknowledge receipt of the report and accept the information.
Yeah.
And I
Gotcha.
think,
Pardon me?
yeah, I just wanted to mention that I think we need to look into how we split with the money and stuff, if we can talk about that at one.
I think that's the next
It's the
item.
next, that's the next item,
Yeah.
okay.
I know it was there, but I just want to make sure it's there, like wrong about.
Okay, so who made the motion?
Nobody.
Okay, Councillor Albisky, all in favor? It's carried. So let's get into item G. The bursary program itself, so. Yeah, and who's gonna give that verbal?
Yeah,
As Linda?
This one was you, Linda.
I don't know, I just found that we don't have a I thought we had a policy on our bursary committee. And somebody said we couldn't find it anywhere.
I thought there was two. I thought you had to be,
Terry,
but you had to be
other field man was here.
I think it was just.
a resident. Made out of policy with guidelines or. So,
I did look into this and most places have guidelines.
And there was
And
also.
If in response with the other one that we were on something with, there was all there.
And there was.
We had a meeting with them, right? Sorry,
No,
I'm just a little slow on trying to put things through. But I know we had a meeting with that other group.
NADC.
Last year in September, but I'm trying to remember when we.
NADC.
Yeah.
with who you're.
In ADC.
And I thought it was, I don't know, but their policy that we were following.
Yeah, because there's a return of service, there's a residence requirement, there's a few things that are.
That's on there.
Guideline.
Yeah,
That's on the applicants, but we should have some kind of a policy, so I feel for us to decide who is more.
There was also the discussion point about if the committee has the ability to actually split it up in more chunks. So use the $5,000 and maybe not allocate it just to two recipients, but maybe because there was really good applicants that lost out just. So if we could split it to 4 or whatever it is, that we would actually reach a little bit more of the applicants with that. So we don't have any guidelines to actually go by on that specific.
So you don't, but this is intended to be, the reason this exists is because NADC has a matching program.
Yeah.
So we created this to create a program that would be eligible for that. So anything that we give those people can be doubled up if they meet all the requirements through NADC. Splitting up a grant that's $2,500, in my opinion, is a terrible idea. Schooling is horrendously expensive for the work that you go through to get $500. These people are applying with the understanding they're gonna get $2,500. Not that it's a difficult application process, but that makes a big difference.
But if you split $5,000 in four, it's still $1,250, just give me a chance, $1,250 that will be grant matched with NABC. So now all of it, well, potentially, but still, there's the option of that. So now all of a sudden it's a almost $2,500 per applicant. Where now we only have $5,000, we're giving it 2 people, and there was 14 that reduced to 10, so 10 applicants, and they were really all good.
Yeah, but we just made that change because we said $1,000 was not enough and we wanted to take advantage of more matching. So we just increased each grant to $2,500 last year. Right, so to change it again and go backwards, I'm not sure really makes sense.
I'm with the leaving it at 2,500.
I get it's hard.
It is very hard.
There's ways around that, like you're right, we do not have a policy, so one of the things I've thought about with this is like, pick what you think is important for the area, you're making these people come back, so pick a program that you think is important, that you wanna focus on, then at least it gives you some more evaluation criteria. Cause right now you just have essentially the same form filled out by everybody, and I think you're. You're basically looking at financial need and I remember what the other thing is.
We also had nursing, 2 of them, and 2 for animal science, right? It was pretty hard to pick which one of those.
Does,
Should give it to.
does Mark do?
Well, that's what I
nursery
said, we
program?
don't have a checklist.
Just because your attraction committee?
The Grimshaw.
So
one.
Grimshaw's, yeah, I know we do, there's
Grimshaw's,
4 at 3,000 apiece.
I don't think we do.
I was just thinking like, you know, like if. For part of the criteria, right, like if you're looking at healthcare, then at least they would have another avenue. To try, but
Who funds more of the municipalities, right, so.
well, no different than the nursery, right?
No different which,
No different than the Grimshaw one, and anybody in the county north like is
So,
eligible for that too.
I heard you saying, I mean, if they're looking at a healthcare career, then it can be funded by the committee, but the committee would have to come back to this council and ask for money then, right, so. Unless, you know, RPAP has a little bit of money out there that they directly grant these kids, but.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking. Giving like, the priority is healthcare, right, then giving them the most opportunities. I get it. But I agree, $1,000 or $500 is not as far.
And NADC has different rules for, I think, healthcare, veterinary stuff, nursing, and I can't remember.
And that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. We need something. I don't see it happen all this.
A clear criteria that make it easier to make these decisions.
And that part of it is totally within your control, so you guys can establish whatever you want. The only part you wanna be careful of is you don't wanna restrict it to the point that it no longer meets NADC's criteria, cause then you won't be able to take advantage of the matching stuff, which is a big deal for the people applying.
And that happened, and that happened with the Grimshaw one. That was a hard lesson learned, they couldn't match, so we had to change it. I hear what you're saying, Linda, for sure.
Well, maybe this has to be discussed at an ordinance meeting sometime to create a policy if we want and. Make it a bit easier for the selection committee if you have some, you know, some guardrails to follow, right?
And then I forget, but I think NADC has a cap on what they'll match too.
Yeah.
Because that's why we didn't
We didn't have.
jump ours up in Grimshaw. Cause they wouldn't match it.
Can't remember if their match is capped at 2,500 for their general one, I think,
Well,
which is
they're-
why
they
we
have
bumped it up.
A bursary program with a separate, right?
Yeah, but they have different stuff for healthcare and for veterinary stuff that was higher.
Yeah, you can get like a $10,000 annual bursary.
And I don't recall what the numbers were off the top of my head, I have to look into it again, but.
But that would be good, cause then we could have criteria for each specialty, right?
Yeah, just to make sure the lines with them, so. Okay, let's accept this for information and bring it to ordinance meeting,
Please.
a future ordinance meeting, but won't say today necessarily, a future ordinance meeting.
We've got almost a year before the program's over.
Yeah.
So Councillor Thies has made that motion. All in favor? Okay, let's take a quick break and then we'll look through these council legislative items.
What do you go, Phil? Thank you, yeah, we'll be with you.
So this takes up 3/4 of our agenda package here. But exaggerating, but it was a lot. But I mean, I think the summary is that National Police Federation is looking for support for their RCMP. And what they're kind of looking for the Alberta government to kind of push the pause on their push for the sheriff's service. They're kind of their end run around creating a provincial police force. And I mean, we support it. We took a resolution to the provincial conference. Kind of in a roundabout way, saying the same thing, that they were. Province was gonna create some new police service that nobody really knew anything about, or what it was, and who was gonna fund it, and. I think that they did back off of that, but in the meantime, they've upped their. Sheriff program, which is good, I mean, we're seeing more presence now, but. I don't know what, everybody had a chance to look at this, what their thoughts are on it. I mean, it says overall. 75% of Albertans. I think was the number, somewhere in the 70% range, approve of the RCMP model for policing in Alberta. So you take out Calgary and Edmonton and, you know, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, some of the, in Grand Prairie, partially on cameras. That's a big percentage of this out of the survey. I don't know. So I guess the question is, do we favor supporting this call to action by the Federation? And do we want to submit a formal response, like just giving them our support, or that we endorse it, or do we want to get more information? I mean, there's 20-some pages of information there, but what else? Unless a verbal presentation would be easier to disseminate.
Well, and I think a lot of what was in the presentation there and the way attachment was what they presented to us when they come for our joint council meeting.
Yeah.
A lot of the data overlap.
Well, that was directly from the RCMP, right? Yeah, so it overlaps with these guys, which basically are the governing body, or not governing, but the. Yeah.
I mean, like we took a resolution there, so we're supportive, so I.
Yeah, we can hypocritical,
Yeah.
not support it, right?
I'm prepared for a motion on the floor that we're support call to action and direct administration to prepare and submit a formal response.
A motion on the floor, any clarification or discussion?
To prepare, sorry,
Formal response on council's behalf, so. And we can give some direction on that, I mean, when you make it, you can set it for comments or edits. Okay, I'm seeing no discussion, all in favor? It's carried. Item I is the Dixonville Charter School grand opening. Really exciting, I think. To see that they're actually achieving their objectives. To see their unloading furniture the other day. See, it's getting real. So yeah, I think we talked about this before, but I would be honored to go there and be part of their ceremony. Also, I'm assuming that Brenda will be around, that she'll be there. She's not only a member of the board, but that's in her ward. So, anybody else want to attend?
I mean, it's, we're supporting.
Jim,
I'm not in town, I'm away.
Gary,
Should be around. Yeah, I think so.
Linda,
Well, I think. Well, really.
Linda,
Yeah, we're well represented.
Yeah.
I'll make this motion for you guys.
okay, Councillor Reese moves to, myself. Gary, did you say you? No, yeah, Gary, Gloria, and Brenda attend?
And then Terry, can we just confirm that you will be participating in the speaking portion of the event, because they asked for you to give a.
Keep it short and sweet, yeah, just congratulations on behalf of the council. Okay, all in favor? It's carried. Item J, the Loyal Edmonton Regiment, 49th Battalion Honor. We see this before. So I don't think the immediate. We're adjusting from a certain, other than.
If they did request that it was past to attend their event, but, this was more or less just to acknowledge that there was, soldiers here that did, pass. And then I just, the two privates there.
Well, anybody interested in attending? I think we've had this invitation before, we declined it.
Yeah. Make a motion to accept the.
Declined the invitation. Okay, Councillor Becky moves that we acknowledge receipt of the invitation and decline attendance.
So is there an invitation attachment? Cause it just says acknowledgement
The-
honorable.
The event has already passed too.
Oh,
So we just need to make a motion to accept the honor roll,
also.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right, yeah.
not decline any invitation. Yeah.
because I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Attached to it. I know the Peace River Legion has an invitation coming up, but
No, we can receive it, but that.
yeah, so that's all we have to do then. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Item K, Priya Committee.
Yeah, I asked this to be on here. So with the unveiling of the position paper, I thought I'd go back and look at minutes of previous meetings and raise some issues that I'm not comfortable with. So this committee, it's supposedly the objectives are to further the interests of a certain industry in Northern Alberta, right? So not being for the overall industry, though, it's one particular company has been attending all of these meetings. And if you look at the minutes here, it indicates this particular company is directing, advising, and pushing forward a certain agenda. Now, you have two attendees of this May 25th meeting of May 9th, 2025. So at the meeting are two employees of Energy Alberta, or at least one employee in the company of a consultant, I assume it's a consultant. And they're forwarding reasons to have for the committee to hire a consultant. And the consultant, his is Amy Longhorn's words here. Consultant could collect feedback from municipal government residents and range in a format that can be provided to proponent agencies and other levels of government. And then her companion, his name is Ali Hounsell. And he reiterates the benefits of hiring a consultant. And so on and so forth. So then, next thing you know, this is approved, and 5 municipal CEOs and Amy Longhorn will meet to discuss timeline and schedule. So they're meeting together to come up with a strategy, I guess.
come up with it.
Well, here, it says five municipal CEOs and Amy Longhorn will meet to discuss timelines, schedule, structures. We're collaborating on, I guess, what the consultant is going to produce here. So here we have a private company directing, advising the committee how to spend public funds to benefit said company. Okay, so this is not something we should be involved in. Now I asked the consultation of AI. Is it appropriate for a private company to advise the committee and council to hire a consultant public finance to advance the interests of that company? No, it is generally not appropriate. This creates a major conflict of interest and violates ethical rules of public spending. Private companies should not use public funds or council committee to pay for help that mainly benefits their own business. So this is, again, why are we dabbling in this? Why is this committee so close with this company? We should be at arm's length of this, because this actually jeopardizes what the whole vision of this committee. I just don't see that this is appropriate. I think we need to evaluate what the committee is trying to accomplish here, because I don't see this as constructive. Again, we should be at arm's length from this company and not have directly involve them. Like, for example, let's say Public Works wants to buy a new truck, and we form a committee to look into buying a truck. And we sit down with Ford Motor Company and no other companies. Well, we wouldn't do that. That'd be ridiculous. That's basically what's going on here. So I think we need to distance ourselves from this, what's going on here. We should not be, this committee should not be involved with what this one company so close. Again, this would appear to be a conflict to me. I think we need to be steering away from this, this sort of activity.
I have a question, when you're at these meetings, are you guys looking at anything else other than energy? Because that's how I understood it was formed for all of us in the region to look into other things that could happen in our community, to make economic,
So this committee was formed, there's no doubt about it, because there was a proposal for a project. And
but not just that project, Tim.
just here, let me finish. So it was created because of this project, but we would absolutely welcome anybody that would bring forward a legitimate proposal with whatever it would be, whether it be a gas-fired plant, whether it be anything to do energy. But to date, there's been nobody else has done that. I mean, people talk about, different things that could be possibly done in their region, but there's never been a proposal. So getting back what Brent has just talked about, Energy Alberta, number one, doesn't attend all the meetings. They've attended some meetings.
Well, they've attended every single meeting in 2025, according to the minutes.
I don't, like, we've only met a couple times in 2026, and I think that they attended one, only as a delegation for a 15-minute update on where they're at with the project. So getting back to them directing us who to hire, what we should do, these were only suggestions by Ali about the communication. That was one of the main reasons the committee was formed, was for communication, because we've seen it as a weakness for the municipalities to be able to communicate. And we thought if we banded together as 5 and now 8 municipalities, we could share that message, have the same message amongst everybody. Energy Alberta had absolutely zero to do with selecting the communication consultant. I don't think they even knew the guy who selected. That was totally done by the committee. Yeah, they made some suggestions from, about how the communication should be done. It says right in there that they will be the communicator of the project, which they should be. We're the receivers of information of the project, which they do. Meeting with the CEOs, and maybe Garrett can touch on that. That was something outside of the committee.
Yeah, that's quarterly updates from them.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with hiring a communication consultant. That was something Energy Alberta committed to doing with regional CEOs is to give, you said quarterly updates, and that's still ongoing, right? And it has nothing to do with communication consultants, so to say that is totally wrong, that they would have influence to who was hired.
Well, it states it right there in the minutes that their opinion on consultants, so it looks to me like they're influencing committee and then meeting later on to discuss it. So I just makes me uncomfortable. This reflects on all of us. I don't think, again, we should be at arm's length with this. Now, you said there's been no other proposals in the area. That actually there has been. A few years ago, a company came here looking to produce set up solar array at Peace River. Fairly substantial project. Did we rush out and form a committee to further the project? No, we just thanked them for the time and moved on, as we should be doing with this particular proposal, and not be getting into business where we have no business. And so I think we need to reevaluate what we're doing on this committee, because it's steering us into areas that I see as problematic. And I'm not out to blame anybody or anything like that. It's just that I think we should look at where we're going with this, and is this something we should be doing? And I think it's not.
So your question that you asked Google just a minute was, is it appropriate for a private company to advise a committee of council to hire a consultant with public money to advance the interests of that company? Well, agreed that it would not be appropriate, but that's never what PRIA has done. We've never hired a consultant to advance the interest of that company on the recommendation of who to hire. We hired a communication consultant to assist the municipalities in being prepared for such a project should it ever gain approval, which at this stage it has no approvals, but it's in the hands of the regulators. So we're trying to, be prepared, I guess. And there's no connection between Energy Alberta and what we've done with as far as hiring a communication consultant. I mean, yes, the committee was formed because the proposal came from them, but we would treat any other proposal with the same way, should there be any. I mean, there is another one being proposed over in Birch Hills, Smoky River, Northern Sunrise, that hasn't really come across to us yet, but we know that it's still active. I mean, that's probably a long ways out in comparison to the Peace River project. They've never submitted anything to the regulators yet. They've had discussions, but Jared, you want to say?
Yeah, I just had a question to Councillor Reeve. I mean, any of those specific items on the minutes, can you say which of those you have a problem with? Yes. What's those? A problem with an employee from a company telling the committee, so then consultant should benefit feedback from municipal government residents, range get all the benefits hiring this consultant. That's the one from Alexander Swat. That's the bottom. Are we looking at it here? Just the other one. Yeah. Okay. Energy Alberta are the communicators of the project. The REC are the receivers of the information. So anyway, again, this is all for one company here. Now, if you read the position paper, I mean, it could have been taken off Energy Alberta's website. And again, this should not be. I see this as benefiting one company. And then Ellie Council, maybe you can explain who this guy is, because he's.
That's a she. So she's a communication consultant, I assume, with Energy Alberta, like she, and anything that she did attend at one meeting, there's only suggestions. She's not telling us you shall do this, you shall do that. She's saying this is how they see it from their side, that
yeah, so they're recommending this consultant be hired.
no suggesting it, right? They're not.
Yeah, whatever. It's steering influence into the committee to hire this consultant, and to me, it looks like the consultant benefits one company. It's not my. industry as a whole. So it's not arm's length, this does not represent to me arm's length as we should be on this issue. Again, we wouldn't, Eric, committee to look at purchasing a piece of equipment and then sit down with a representative of one company that represents one interest. That's what's going on here.
But we're not purchasing anything. I mean, this is just.
Yeah, purchasing a consultant with public funds. Services, purchasing the services of consultant.
Yeah, and not on the direction of any one company. This is on the direction.
Well, I guess that's open to interpretation if you read the minutes.
Well,
But which item are you referring to there?
Going on with just.
There's
Yeah, I
the
mean,
first
yeah.
few pages of the minutes. These are taken from the minutes of May 9th, 2025. And we had 2 employees of Energy Alberta saying, one of the things that we need to have this consultant. I think this is inappropriate.
well, that's, I guess, subjective interpretation, because that was only suggestion about talking about communications, which she clearly said that Energy Alberta's project specific questions go to them. Might not be a bad idea to have stronger communication from the municipalities, which none of us have communication people. I mean, everybody was doing the best they could, but we just thought somebody that had expertise in that would be a benefit, but not because Energy Alberta said thou shall, or said that we, I mean, that was our original discussion when the project was first announced, was that we should probably consider having a communication consultant, whether it's somebody local or somebody, it didn't matter, we're long as somebody would be able to help us out with that, and that's what we did. I mean, when Energy Alberta made those suggestions, I mean, we'd already made that decision. That's what we probably would have to be doing at some point, and this kind of maybe reaffirmed it. But it was definitely not because of them attending and coming and trying to push the consultant to favor them. I mean, we would, like, and to answer Linda's question, we would treat any component on a project like that with the same weight as these guys perceive to be getting.
No, I know it's not just me that has concerns. I know the committee, this was they're not included here, there was some talk in the minutes that committee was unsure of the direction they were going this and the role of the committee. And I just think we should be out of this. I don't see it as helpful. I'd be prepared to make a motion that we suspend our participation in this committee. I just don't see it as helpful, and we're getting too cozy with one company.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councillor Reeve to suspend our participation in PRIA. Is that how you want it with it?
Yes.
Yep, and suspend our participation in Korea.
Any other comments or questions?
This one right here.
Yeah, we'll put Councillor Reeve.
Okay, I see no questions. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's defeated. Okay, item L is a piece of work where opening and leaving invitation. So this is the one that I was.
Can we maybe just recess this meeting now and go into the
Oh, we already went with
public hearings?
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Well,
I didn't think you got the time.
oh, well, actually got a good timekeeper next to me.
Yeah. Do we have anybody, is where's Pearl at?
Pearl is virtual.
She's virtual? Okay.
Yes, Let's need to make a motion to.
Are we doing the public hearing first or we?
What?
Well, she was virtual, yeah.
I'm listening, but I'm also taking calls, so.
Let's do the public hearing first. And we got anybody from ISL online or not?
No.
Not holding them up.
See if we have from. One?
There's nobody from.
That's from ISL, good.
What, we'll just do the public hearing, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that first, then we'll go to the MPC.
Okay.
And then actually we can, after that, then we can go back to the given meetings to look. Okay, so
ISL will not be joining us either, as both of the permits for MPC were permitted use. So.
Wait, we're doing MPC first. Public
yeah,
hearing.
going back and think about- we're gonna open the hearing first.
Public hearing? Okay, yes. Terry, I just need a counselor to make a motion to move our regular council meeting into the public hearing.
Okay, Council, this can be the motion, all in favor, it's carried. Yeah, I'll declare the public hearing open at 11:03. Welcome all participants. So. Could you give the nature of the proposed bylaw? Well, this is for bylaw number 26-61-511 for the record. So can you give the nature of the proposed bylaw to read into the record? From our planning and development clerk, please.
Yes, so in accordance with county policy, land use bylaw amendment 26-61-511 received first reading on Tuesday, July 14th, 2026 council meeting. The purpose of today's council public hearing is to provide an opportunity for members of the public to make comments and submissions regarding the proposed matter under consideration.
Thank you. You confirm that all required public notification procedures, including newspaper advertisements, public announcements, and applicable notification timeframes have been completed in accordance with legislative requirements.
Yes, it was posted in the Mile Zero banner post on July 15th and 22nd. It was also posted on our website and the county's Facebook page.
Good, thank you. So I will ask you to give the presentation.
Okay. Bylaw number 26-61-511, County of Northern Lights, Province of Alberta, being a bylaw for the purpose of amending the County of Northern Lights Land Use Bylaw 12-61-290. Whereas the Council of the County of Northern Lights, Province of Alberta, has adopted a land use bylaw, and whereas the Council has the authority under the provision of the Municipal Government Act, RSA 2000, as amended to amend the land use bylaw, and whereas the Council of the County of Northern Lights deems it desirable to amend the land use bylaw number 12-61-290. Now, therefore, the Council of the County of Northern Lights duly assembled hereby enacts the following. 1, that Schedule 2 of the land use bylaw maps be amended to include the following. That the land use classification for a portion of northwest of Section 36, Township 84, Range 22, west of the 5th Meridian, be amended from a split zone parcel in which the north is zoned agricultural restricted and the south is zoned general and industrial M1 to the entire parcel being zoned agricultural restricted AR. District as illustrated in Schedule A attached here too, and that this bylaw shall come into effect upon the date of the final passage thereof.
Okay, so have you received any written submissions in support of the proposed bylaw?
No.
Have you received any written submissions opposed to the proposed bylaw?
No.
Okay, I'll call if there's any verbal submissions in support of the proposed bylaw. I'm seeing none, so I'll call for any verbal submissions opposed to the proposed bylaw. And I'm seeing none, so I will call for you to give a recommendation.
It is recommended the council approve the proposed land use bylaw 26-61-511 to rezone this parcel in its entirety from the agricultural restricted district.
Good, thank you. So I'll open it up for questions from council. Well, because there's no questions, so, oh,
Wonderful.
Well. You're saying that it's gonna go from. Like me, industrial.
Yeah.
And the whole package, that means the whole package now will be agricultural.
Yeah.
And again. And it's reflecting as agriculture, so if someone wants to change something, they can. If they wanna rezone something on this whole.
If they'd want to rezone, they'd have to apply to go back to another zoning.
Right.
They're just going to the egg restricted because that's what their use aligns with, and that's what the northern portion is. They had just done this zoning change in the past because they were looking to subdivide, but they no longer wish to.
any other questions? Okay,
Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since the parcel that was zoned differently doesn't even technically exist, so.
Or have it in something.
Yeah.
They just did.
They updated the map
Yeah.
before they registered the subdivision, so yeah.
And the rezoning was a condition of the subdivision, but they didn't endorse.
Okay, so I shall adjourn the public hearing at 11:08. And I will recess the regular meeting and turn it over to Chair of the MPC.
Okay, thank you. We'll call the Municipal Planning Commission meeting order at 11:08. The agenda and the additions to the agenda. We have a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Councillor Doug, in favor, carried. To the adoption of the minutes of the Tuesday, July 14th minute. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, Councillor Reese, all in favor? Carried. Okay, we'll just move down to development permits issued by the development officer, DP 26-19 and DP 26-27. Any questions in regards to those development permits? You see, none, we'll have a motion to accept them for information. Councillor Halisti, all in favor? Carried. Very good, during the meeting at 11:09.
Okay, so we adjourn the regular meeting and let's go back to page, well, we're still on page 1 of the agenda, 4.0, item A. No, pardon me, item 5.0, proposed bylaw amendment. So if you could find that, we're looking to give second reading.
Harry, we just need a motion to bring the, to move the bylaw 2661-511 regular meeting into discussion. The public hearing into the regular council meeting.
The bylaw that we just passed.
Move the public hearing bylaw 2661-511 to the regular council meeting for discussion.
No, it's in the. It's already.
It's on the agenda,
It's on the agenda.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
so we don't need a motion for that, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so I'm looking for second reading of 26-61-511. Okay, Councillor Please has made that motion. All in favor? Carried.
Okay.
Very keeping up. Okay, so third and final reading. Councillor Reese. All in favor? It's carried. Okay, thank you, Carl.
Let me know when you guys are ready for my next one.
Yeah, be able to do that. But no, it's good. Just the planning update.
Okay, so let's go to page 2. 6.6.1. Let's find that. Myself.
So every month we give you guys an update of what occurred in planning and development. In the month of July, we received 37 development inquiries, all to CNL staff, 5 applications, and 6 notice of decisions were approved. We received 15 inquiries for subdivision to CNL staff. 2 of them went to ISL staff, so a total of 17 inquiries. 3 applications resulted out of that. None were endorsed. These are all on number of individuals who inquire, not frequency of increase. I honestly just can't track every time somebody calls. There's a lot of calls. And then ISL touches on all files that we touch on to at some point. Other matters, I attended the Keg River Council meeting on July 14th. We're still experiencing, and for the ratepayer meeting there, we're still experiencing an influx of inquiries due to the upcoming changes for the land use bylaw regarding dealing with development and contravention and regarding changes to subdivision. I'm expecting that to continue well into the fall and well after the land use bylaws have gone through. I also attended an information session regarding the proposed changes to the gravel pit approval process regarding Bill 28, and there is an item on the agenda briefing you of this today. There will be more to follow following the other meetings.
Pearl, I don't know if council is aware, but we also, Pearl has been asked to be the clerk for a SDAB appeal.
Yes.
So part of your agreement that we are in, we have a clerk available, so we can speak more to that. I think we have an agenda item as an addition, so I'll maybe update you on some things there, but Pearl is currently acting as our clerk right now as well.
So
Yeah.
did you have to take any training for that, or?
I took that in the first 2 weeks of my employment in this
Okay.
position. But I will speak to you about that later when we have that item on the agenda.
Good.
Yeah.
Put it to use now.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions on the administration planning and development update? Not, we'll get a motion to accept for information. Councillor Fees, all in favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I will see you later.
Okay, go back to page 1. Item L, Peace River Canadian Legion branch invitation. You've all read it, I hope. Anybody interested in attending? It's September 19th.
It was the invitation.
Right. Stevens.
I think because we sponsored the mural, we should probably send somebody.
It does include a +1,
Includes what?
like a guest. So if anybody is attending, they can bring their significant other.
Thank you.
You can make it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that would be sufficient if we have one representative, so. So we want to make a motion to accept the invitation and you Councillor Fees? Yeah, Paul did that. Councillor Reese makes that motion. All in favor? It's carried. Item M. Invitation from Prairie Scan to attend their announcement at Mercer Mill. They've reached out to myself and to Gerhard, and we did confirm that we would attend. I had a subsequent email yesterday from somebody from Prairie Scan, the communication person, sent it to myself and Gloria. Want to know if we would be attending, and somebody can bring some words, like a 2 or 3 minute words from readings from council, and I said, well, we're gonna be there anyway. I asked any particular reason why they asked Councillor Decken, and yeah, he said because the mill is in her ward. So I replied, no, it's actually not, it's in Ward 1. And so I haven't heard anything back, but so I will be attending. I think.
See, I'm sure that done.
Yeah, because they did give us, they said 9:30 or 3, and then they said 3, but I don't know what time their ceremonies are. They haven't got back with that information yet, so there could even be something emailed by now, just confirming what time. So yeah, so you're still good to go yet? Yeah, and I'm good to go. And, I don't know if Gary figured around them, but they open. Yeah. I mean, it is in your word, so that seemed to matter yesterday in the email that you can be there. I mean, you sit on the pack as well, right? So. Okay, so we just need a motion to acknowledge this, meeting request with Prairie Scan and approve myself and Gary to attend, and Gary will be attending too. I don't know if any council motion for that. So
Can you reveal anything about this?
I have no idea, other than the email yesterday, let me just read it. I think it's,
You're gonna make.
I think that it's gonna cost us some financial help.
Some kind of announcement. Okay.
Prairie Scan is coordinating a media event on the 26th to announce a federal investment through Prairie Scan for the Mercer Peace River upgrade.
Yeah.
So a federal investment. Interpret that, you want, I guess.
Sounds like good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got one of them big 8 foot by 4 foot checks, so we'll have there. So,
What the time is,
well, don't know that yet, but we'll let you know. I mean, that's coming up pretty quickly, right? So. So just looking for motion to approve that.
Okay.
You make the motion, Linda? Okay, all in favor? It's carried. Okay, we move to our additions now. Item N is the Peace River ICF report. Everybody got a paper copy of that this morning?
So basically the question is that, just to acknowledge that we are going forward with the regional approach to this ICF with Peace River. And that we specifically after a motion that we apply for some grant funding, through the ACP grant process that's available, but we need a letter of support from council for that.
So you're looking, that we would supply a letter of support for the grant?
If council is in agreement, and I mean, the first part of that consideration is that council confirmed they're still willing to participate in a regional intermunicipal collaboration program with the two Israel.
So just a bit of background, we did have a kind of initial meeting, just to kind of be in the same room, and we kind of agreed that the regional approach would be probably best. And that we would engage a facilitator, and that's what the grant would be used towards.
Gotta be honest, it was a very positive meeting, and I think all municipalities involved were really open and ready for communications going forward on this ICF, which is a very positive sign.
Yeah, I'll just say, being on the previous negotiating committee where it was one-on-one, and this looks way cleaner than that was. That was when they did each municipality individually, and I don't think the result was what anybody really wanted, but it was new. We were learning, and now I think this will be better. But so yeah, looking for a motion to be part of this regional collaboration and send a letter of support along with the grant application. And who's handling the grant application? It's Northern Sunrise?
I think
Peace River. I think we should go.
you can do that.
Okay, Councilor, please makes that motion. So any questions for clarification on that? I don't know that we scheduled the next meeting for early September, I believe.
We have a whole bunch of doodle poll dates pending, nothing's been confirmed.
Nothing confirmed yet. Okay, any further clarification? If not, all in favor? Okay, that's carried. Okay, the next edition is the one with the big long name, the Peace Regional Subdivision Development Appeal Board appointment. So maybe you want to talk to the security in there. So they're having some hearing, but they're kind of lacking members, right?
Yeah, this is just a temporary appointment of 2 members for immediate ones that's available now, and then also appointing for going forward. If you look at the second page of the motion, it will actually explain it a little bit more better. So the motion 1 would be for the immediate ones so that we can adjudicate the 26, resolution 001A to E, so the first 5. And then it would be, the second motion would be that council approve the appointment of the following individual as member of the Peace Regional Subdivision Development Official for a 3-year term.
Because we currently don't have anybody appointed, right?
We don't.
I think this is the one, but it's not on the assessment. This is assessment appeal, right? No, it's the subdivision.
Subdivision.
Yeah, so on the assessment one, I was on that, but I don't know if I still am or not. I don't know if there's a expiration date on those or not. Probably is, because I know I took the training probably 5 years ago, and it would all be new to me again now, because I never had to use it, so. But anyway. So,
There is with the agreement, but I don't know when it's been updated and it's hard to track whether or not all those people are still eligible.
That's true.
So what happens is like when we actually, there's a bunch of problems with this. But I don't know if we want to get into that now or if you just want to.
yeah, we'll deal with this here.
Okay.
Today, and then we can talk about that another time, have a look at that. I guess we should try to find out. Maybe sometime about these 2 appeal boards, this one and the assessment one. Who, if, what their roster looks like, right?
Yeah, which we had, and it should be like, my understanding is if your members change, you should probably advise the other members that are parties to the agreement.
Right.
Yeah.
I know there's one from the town of Manning, and myself took the assessment one, and then never did sit in the hearing.
No, there's very few of those, but there are a lot more in this one. Yeah.
Okay, so looking for a motion to appoint, John Colton and Lynn Coulter as, I mean, call them temporary. Yes, yeah, as temporary members of the regional subdivision appeal board. Okay, Councillor Deck, makes that motion, all in favor? And then the next motion will be to appoint Mercedes Dorian as a member of the appeal board for a 3-year term, effective today. You make that motion? Okay, Councilor Biskie makes that motion, all in favor? It's carried. You can just, for your information, there's an appeal coming up next week. And that's on subdivision, or is that assessment?
That's an assessment.
Or assessment.
It's been canceled, I'll update you.
Oh, okay. Everybody's off the hook. Okay, next edition was item P, unsightly properties in North Star.
Okay, that's me. So I received a concern from a resident right here who lives in the hamlet of North Star regarding the unsightly properties in the hamlet. They can't understand how come the county of Northern Lights have to take an action on these properties. Have them cleaned up. They've also reported that there's recurring garbage in right of ways in the hamlet on both sides of roads, and their families have been trying to keep that clean and picking it up. They're not sure whose responsibility, which is probably our responsibility to get those that garbage picked up. They're glad that the county is cutting the grass and maintaining county property, and they're thankful for that. I was unable to locate a bylaw for unsightly premises. I believe there maybe one was a nuisance bylaw that was rescinded, but I'm sorry, I don't have the date for that. So just wanting to find out what we are going to do about this.
Well, I guess maybe you answered one of your questions, if we get another bylaw, that's a little tough to take action on, but.
Yes and no. So Councillor Decken is correct. We at one time had what was called a nuisance bylaw. Included in that, we had references to unsightly premises. That just kind of detailed what we would do. That was repealed a number of years ago. I don't remember when, and I don't remember why. Sometime between when I started and now, in the last 10.5 years, and I think it was, if I remember correctly, due to just I have a bylaw, so we got rid of a few, so I think that was the same time we got rid of our dog control bylaw.
I'm pretty sure it was, because we had that noise complaint and we thought that we could do it underneath.
Yeah.
For the thing, and then repeal it, because there was no enforcement.
So that being said, that doesn't mean we have no options. The Municipal Government Act does provide us the ability to take action. An action being advising owners of such properties of what we would like to do to remedy the situation, and we still can enforce. Enforce by means of actually going onto the property and remedying whatever the issue is ourselves. The complaints, so I also spoke to this resident, so complaints are, I think, garbage and unkept lawn and weeds, and one of the properties actually even appears to be abandoned, so the doors are wide open currently, allegedly. I haven't looked personally yet. So what the MGA gives us the power to deal with is things that are of a safety concern. So arguably, maybe the one if the doors are open, we could deal with that. Probably we could deal with that by going and shutting the doors as well. I don't think that would be a big issue. But also the safety concern is kind of broadly described as being detrimental to the value of the surrounding properties. So we've historically issued cleanup notices to one of the properties, that actually two of them, I think, that are being complained about by this resident yet again. So specifically, we've dealt with the one where there's garbage all over the yard. And I believe that 100%. Every time I've ever looked at this after hearing complaints, they just build up some garbage in the backyard, which you can kind of see. We've had complaints about that from just how it looks to how it smells to what if bears come in because there's giant piles of garbage in the yard. There are people living there. The owner, every time we've contacted them, says, I don't own this anymore. I've handed it off to, I don't remember if it's ex-wife or what it is, but messy situation anyways. So we can do that, but I don't know if council would like to see what these properties actually look like before we write such a letter and take action. Also, if we're gonna write that letter, I would expect that we follow through with it if nothing happens. Otherwise, it's just kind of pointless to issue that letter. But something for you guys to think about, I guess, and talk about. So the garbage, one thing, the unsafe potential of the one thing. A little bit different when it comes to people's lawns, I guess, but it is a hamlet. There are multiple people that complain about this. There is a group of people that are trying to make this hamlet look nicer and more livable. And there are properties, and I don't know, Brent, if you drive through it too, but there are definitely some that are, and I'll say my words carefully, but neglected compared to the other ones in terms of their cleanliness and aesthetics. That's not too.
There quite a bit lately.
Yeah.
And where my son used to live, where we had
That's
him a letter.
One of them, yeah.
He got a letter. That place is about, there's
Yeah.
never been anybody in there since, and yeah, the grass, the trees, everything are going.
Yeah.
There's a trailer that also belongs to the same person, what I understood. There's no one living in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty crappy looking.
Which is allowed, you can own places and not live there, but at the same time, there's still an expectation that you maintain it. We just don't have a bylaw that specifies, I guess, standards of this, so you're utilizing the wording of the Municipal Government Act saying the way your property looks is now being complained by neighbors stating that it's actually impacting the value of their property, so we would request that you mitigate the concerns by whatever the case may be, cleaning up the garbage, mowing the lawn, getting rid of the weeds.
So, like you said, to send a letter and using the MGA as our support is fine, but if we don't action on it, then what would the action?
And I bet I would be willing to bet 3 of the 5 there'll probably be action on. 2 of the 5 we probably will not have a response on. Right.
So then does the county, like I know in the urban areas, the municipality, if you don't do something about unmowed grass or unsightly properties, they will do it and put it on your tax rate.
Yeah, absolutely, and
So when we.
so you do it and bill them, and if they don't pay the bill, then you can put that on their taxes, yeah.
So would we be prepared to do that, and when you say.
So that's a question for you guys. You're looking at me when you ask that.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm asking as a broad question, right?
And I've got a follow-up question to council then. Do you guys want us to create a bylaw
I mean, it's,
for that?
Well, create a bylaw, but as long as we can follow it, I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
That was part of my question.
absolutely, for sure. Something needs to be done.
I mean, this would be a bylaw only to hamlets. I mean, we have Dixonville and we have Montague.
I would say to Hamlet's, yeah.
Or what,
Hamlet.
because I mean, there's lots of non-hamlet properties that are probably not much better, but it's not a
Exactly.
concentrated population, right?
Well,
So
and the Hamlets are, here's, we look after them.
Yep.
Right, so.
that's right. I mean, we spend money fixing the streets and the sewer and.
And your hamlets are essentially little towns, right?
They're sure,
That's
yeah.
why complaints like this tend to be focused in hamlets, is because you have
Yeah.
just more people living in a condensed area.
Not fair to a resident if you have to get up every morning and look across the fence and see the pile of garbage.
Yeah.
It's not, like, there's got some standard.
And also maybe expand this whole thing to subdivisions too, not just the hamlets, because I mean, there's also people living in close contact, if you want, with your neighbors over there.
Can I just put 2 cents in on this?
Yes.
Cause I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
I mowing the grass. If we have to action that, that's fine. Collection of garbage, however. I would be hesitant, because how do you know? A cook, what's actually garbage,
Your garbage is my treasure.
right? That's what I'm getting at. So to send some summer students out to go and start collecting garbage and throwing it in a dump trailer, taking it to Long Lake, is all well and good. But if they go and pick up a barbecue that looks like it's in garbage condition, well, that's what I used to cook my dinner on. Now you took away how I feed myself.
But they shouldn't be picking up anything that's not on property, if it's on
Well,
county
but it-
property.
Okay, I
On
was
county.
talking on.
They're
we-
going and picking up garbage on the roads and they're not going and picking up
That's
garbage.
correct.
On-
But if you were going to action us to go and collect garbage off of their property or mow their property.
And that's where this gets to be sticky. It's fine to write a letter if people just listen. But your threat in these letters is, we have the authority to go in and remedy what we're telling you to remedy. Which means that we actually have to go do it. Which could be, I know for one of the properties at least, is garbage. I think it's mostly just big
I think it's
bags of garbage,
stuff,
but even still, what's in there? It's gross.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm not going to go in here. to go
I
do
was
it.
talking about us picking up garbage along the, not on the property.
We have to do that constantly in all of our ditches.
That's right.
That's an ongoing
Well,
issue.
they obviously saying that we're not doing it enough in North Star. But, I mean, that's,
So the complaint isn't about the pile of garbage on the property?
no, it's that, well, it is about, oh yes, of course, but also that we're not looking after the garbage in our right of ways and along our, that was another. That they go pick it up so that,
Yeah, I haven't noticed that as much unless there's some blowing in, but.
anyway. We need to do something for sure.
So do we wanna go back and create a policy again, or do we wanna just work off the strength of that the NGA outlines and? You know? Cause I mean, to create a policy, get it approved. I mean, some will be over, then when we cover the snow, everything looks the same then, but,
I mean, the resident, was, she says, I know, or they said, I know they can't possibly, maybe all be fixed this year, but please start something so that we can get this, Hamlet cleaned up.
But I would also recommend that we do not use our own staff to do that and get contractors to do that, and just for insurance purposes.
No, I would agree with you.
We don't have enough to go around with it.
So for today's purposes and what we want to do, what we want to have administration look at creating a unsightly premises property, bylaw or, you know, something in Hamlet's.
I wouldn't even just do it in Hamlet's, your bylaw applies to
Exactly.
everywhere, just your complaints tend to come in Hamlet's because that's where there's more people. Just the MGA too, it doesn't distinguish that just to Hamlet's, it's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, we can do what we want, but yeah, like this.
My only issue with bringing back a bylaw about that is we rescinded the one we did have for the purpose that we didn't have a bylaw officer. We still don't have a bylaw officer, so why would we bring something back unless we're gonna change what was the reason we canceled it in the first place? So I think if you bring it back, but it's the same thing, we had it with we used the MGA on the horses in my ward.
Yes.
And nothing ever got done and the horses are still there. So we can't bring back something to remedy it if we're not gonna change what the issue is. So unless we're willing to put a bylaw officer back on the topic with the bylaw, what's the point?
Well, and
Yeah.
we do have a bylaw officer,
We do.
but I mean, so if the action would be give them a notice, they don't act on it, then the bylaw officer has the authority to send somebody in to do it. We're not going out and giving fines or, you know, just the county would assume the responsibility for the.
Well, it probably would start with a fine and then only we will, well, you're not paying the fines and you're not cleaning up, we're gonna clean up your taxes.
It would be an invoice for the work done, I don't think we can issue a fine unless we have a bylaw indicating there's fines.
So that's exactly why we need to bylaws.
Yeah.
Okay. I brought to your attention regarding the horses like you're talking about, this is on a farm. Somebody else's horses are there. And I was told there's nothing the county can do about it, but we can contact inspection. Inspector or something. You know, this is getting to be, you know, I mean, we need to do something, like, these, you know, our people are asking us, what are you guys gonna do about this? Because
Well, and I mean, and that's exactly it, Linda, right? Like, what are we gonna do? But unless we're changing the situation, and I guess bring it back to a future ordinance meeting and we can hash it out there, but at the end of the day, I want the CAO to do a CAO job. I want you to be running around being a bylaw officer, and these are becoming more frequent, like, I'm sorry, Gerhard, that you might be a great bylaw officer, but we hired you to be a CAO, not chase horses and deal with people's garbage.
You're
So,
not gonna buy me a hat for that.
no, we need you to do your CAO job. So, I mean, I'm fine if you wanna bring it back for another point. For today's purposes, I mean, I'm comfortable, like, we have the MGA to lean on, we can deal with it right now, but, I mean,
Okay, can I read what I think the motion might be? To acknowledge the receipt of the unsightly properties in North Star report and direct administration to prepare a bylaw outlining the criteria and process for unsightly properties and bring the draft policy to the next ordinance committee meeting for council to review.
No, I don't think that's something, because I think we don't have.
Who's the MGA?
Okay, so we're not doing a bylaw.
Not yet. Thank you, just want to notify the property owners pursuant to the MG, pursuant to the MG, pursuant to the MGA.
And we've historically, when we've done this, the letter that basically says we've received concerns related to whatever the concerns are with respect to your property located here. We're asking that you do the following to remedy, please either remedy the situation or respond within 30 days. Failure to do so, we use the word may, but may result in action of us remedying it, which can then be billed to you and have it through actual and plain language. It sounds better than that when I write it.
Yeah.
But
Cory, I have a question. So Cory, you said this person has already contacted our county office, right?
Yes, of course.
So he's probably already wrote a letter.
No.
No, he is-
The first thing I said was it's fine for, like, I had this conversation yesterday. So probably not urgent enough to add it as an addition from my end, but I recommended because this is a bylaw we do not have, we are limited in our capacity. It would be worthy to speak with your counselors about this. Because it is important for you guys to know that we do not have a bylaw. This is a concern. We do get this kind of complaint quite frequently, especially in the summer, right?
But you'd already.
I haven't written one. We had a concern from another neighbor about one of these properties a little while ago. As well, which I think we've investigated in part.
That was like 2 years
A
ago.
year
I
ago.
don't know, like a month ago.
About 2 years ago, but yeah, also.
Do you just pop it up on the screen, Jessica, or something?
And I'll put it, MGA like, I won't abbreviate it.
Or you'll put what section?
Yeah.
And maybe a second part of that is you can say we can add this to the next ordinance meeting for discussion.
I can make this motion.
So you make that motion?
Oh.
Okay, so there's a motion in front of you.
Sorry. Apologies. Probably in the hand that maybe.
In that house, in that house.
Okay, any,
And add, just a minute, and add what to the,
And I was concerned.
and,
policy discussion,
policy discussion, or what?
It should be a bylaw.
bylaw discussion.
It is
It would be
section
like-
546, yes. I think it's for them.
Is it next ordinance meeting, because that's today, I would put it for future.
Safe to assume you're not gonna have it today.
Future ordinance.
Just the add the unsightly bylaw discussion.
Okay, that's okay. Motion, okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay. Okay, last addition is item Q. Council wish to send flowers to former Mayor Greg Roycroft, Town of Manning, and the loss of his wife. We worked together with Greg for quite a few years. Members of the community for a few decades. And I'll just let these guys finish up here, what they're doing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think it'd be a very nice gesture. Only talking like $50 or whatever, right? So. Any concerns from anybody? You make the motion? Okay, but it's also. Send with the flowers to.
Sorry, who, Harry, you make it?
Certificate. Okay, other discussion?
Yes, I.
Okay, all in favor? That's good. Let's get through the CA report before lunch. Item 6.1.2.
So I attended that ICF meeting, East River, NFP, small sunrise. Very positive meeting out over here. I attended the Manning Rodeo. And I want to congratulate Charles, you did a good chili there. I don't know if you guys tasted it, but not bad at all. Next year we can have an internal cook-off first, and then whoever's the winner is going to be representing the county at the.
Invite us. Yeah, invite us to
Yeah. Met a few times with Brownlee on legal issues. We had the special council meeting. I attended the AGM for the Chamber of Commerce. They were actually very in agreement with me on my suggestions. Maybe they should look at hosting the Small Business Awards as well as the trade show. Small Business Awards, not for this year, it's just to shorten notice for them to take that on, but maybe in the future they will. Obviously with some help from us, but definitely will investigate taking that part over. And the trade show, there was some conversation about the trade show that's sort of falling on the same time as the one that's on Falair. So most of the big ag companies are already committed to sponsoring Falairs. So if we look at alternating the years, we could potentially get some bigger exposure or more funding. If I can from some of those ag ones is what they recommend we investigate. I attended the Heritage Tractor Parade. That was interesting. Wow. It's amazing that everything still runs.
They work on it hard, I think they.
It is amazing. And I was really surprised at how quiet that steam engine is. I was expecting a lot of huffing and puffing, but it was actually very quiet. Rodney and I met a few times about the fire services. Some interesting comments on Facebook is what I've been shown, but I think some of the items that we already discussed is some of the capital items that we really need to add for next year, like radios, truck and stuff like that. We did the bursary applications or evaluations of them, and then some upcoming meetings. Questions that we've there already.
Thanks, Gary. Any questions?
Wednesday, June 24th, you mean August week?
No,
Oh.
June, yeah.
It's constant.
I'm kind of late.
Well,
I should actually have taken that one out.
Yes.
It happened on that day.
That cut and paste, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, if there's no questions for Garrett, could get a motion to accept the CEO report for information. Councillor Thies, all in favor? Carried. Do we want to break for lunch now before we meet the rush up? Depending on where we go, I guess, can we go to Grins again, or there are choices? Not many, eh?
Perhaps quickest.
Okay,
Perhaps definitely the quickest.
quickest and more run any area, so. So if we go now, then we might beat the rush, because it usually is pretty busy there. We got a little bit to go through on the agenda, then we got to move into the ordinance meeting, so. Well, does that sound? Okay,
Okay. What you do?
Okay, so Terry, we're gonna recess the meeting then?
yes. Okay, you can go. Mark. Move down to the bottom of page 1 of the agenda, 6.1.5, the most exciting part of the agenda, finance.
You sounded borderline sarcastic.
Hey, Josh.
So I've got a couple of things that I'll have to just add verbally as well, starting with changing the first one. So you asked earlier about the assessment appeal. That was all scheduled to go ahead. Happy to report that actually settled before the hearing, so.
Nice.
So what that means in plain language is assessor and the appellant come to an agreement. There's a revised assessment and revised notice that will be issued, and we've refunded his application. So no need to worry about that anymore. Then just an update. It's been a while now, but just so council is aware, in case you hear from anybody, we did have issues with our tax auto payment withdrawals this month. So by the time we got them done, it was 5 days later than advertised. Everything's been mitigated or fixed, I guess, there, and don't expect that to happen again. I did take a couple phone calls though, just when people noticed, so I wanted to make sure you guys were aware and that we were aware when it's been fixed. Then I had this strategic plan review, so thank you guys again for your participation in that. Seems that my to-do list from there is growing and will continue after we meet again. Couple things to add now that happened while I was on holidays or the first day back. Actually, one was the change to the assessment appeal. The other one, the rural renewal stream program it was actually a finite time that we were signed up as a designated community. So that expires here. I don't know the exact date, but in the coming future. So I've been asked to either respond with our interest to continue for a period of 2 years, or indicate that we are not willing to continue and just let it lapse. I just wanted to get council's opinion on that. I continue to get requests for letters. I spoke with April, CAO for the town. They don't meet until the end of August. But she assured me that she doesn't see any reason why they would want to withdraw, I guess, because we're partnered with the town of Manning in this. It remains in the same state that it is. We write a letter, we sit there and wait, and it goes from there. The province did change slightly what they're doing, so that they are now advising us how many people from our endorsements that we've provided have been selected. So I believe we currently sit at 15 of the 17 that we were allocated for the year that have actually been put through the rest of the process that is outside of my hands, which is good. So fast food places, convenience stores, the mill actually has had quite a few, I think 4 now, or maybe 5 even, so it remains popular, and in the way that I'm treating it, it's not too bad. So all I need from you guys is just, I guess maybe a motion to continue if that's what you would like to do, or if there's any concerns we can.
I think it's, I mean, as much as it's extra duties for you, it's valuable, I think, that as we see rural areas, declining, and we need that workforce, this is just another stepping stone for them.
And I will say the people that have actually gone through, so I know a few of them now that have remained in touch with me, so it's kind of some happy stories. So 2 people now that are full-time employees at the mill that are very, very thankful for it. The teacher at the Hutterite colony actually went through this as well, so very good. And then another gentleman that works for daycare and out of school care, so they're all very happy with how it worked and that they were given an opportunity to come here. So
Any from the farming community?
2, maybe 3, but I haven't been in touch with them since the follow-up. Like, these guys reach out to me and I see them all the time. We had 2 farm families up in Keg River that had a candidate that got a letter, but I don't know where they're at. And then another one, I believe in Gary's board, same kind of thing. So yeah, not as broadly used there. It tends to be focused on your grocery stores, your fast food stores, your convenience stores, that kind of thing. So yeah, just looking to add that motion if we can. Sorry to do that to you, Jess, but if council is in a stream community designation. And then the other ongoing projects has been kind of just a copy and paste because I. On here so that I don't forget and that you don't forget that I'm working on them when time permits. So they're there just for. A teaser, I guess, of what's to come. No change to the rec and culture policy one, we have any luck.
That expectation maybe.
It's something that needs to happen though, so we're gonna keep trying. We were kind of told after harvest it might be a better time, so in all honesty, I just press the pause on that until we get. To September, I guess, middle of September.
Well, we have to discuss that because they say there's never a good time, right?
Yeah.
It's seeding time, it's spring time, it's vacation time, it's harvest time, and it's Christmas time, you know.
Were we trying to get both the boards together at the same time?
Or just all the members from each. We find you guys may be here regardless. I'll do 2 meetings, that doesn't really matter. It'd be good to have them all together at one, just so they can crosstalk. Happy to do it virtually, we've extended that invite as well, it doesn't need to be in person, but.
When do the funds get dispersed?
In conjunction with their year ends,
What I
so,
thought was
yeah,
contingent on- And they're both different, right?
yeah, later. So they have to complete their fiscal year, do their application that does. It requires their financial statements, their list of donations they've made and proof of filing of their annual return, so. Usually it's 1 to 3 months after their year end. One is August and the other one was.
No, it's fine, I just.
Maybe that should be contingent on,
Yeah.
or another contingency is
They're the same.
coming, meeting us.
Well, making it the same would be very hard.
No,
Just, yeah,
No, meeting us.
oh, yeah. Could do that.
That's right.
So I don't know, we could.
Accountability.
We'll maybe just give them till fall, see if we can't make something work, and if we go through another year and where we haven't made any progress, maybe we'll just put that change through and go from there. Or just maybe verbally warn them that that might be coming and see if that's Thursday.
Good idea.
Okay,
Yeah, other than that, if there's any questions, but I mean, I was gone for 2 weeks out of the office here, so.
so if there is no questions, we'll get a motion to accept the director of finance update and. We can roll in the same motion, continue with the renewal
Doesn't matter to me.
stream. If council is still got a desire, or you make that motion? That's just already got it in there. Okay, any questions? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, year-to-date budget variance report.
Yeah, so. Once again, comments are kind of put on the main page. A lot of these are just carried forward from previous. Disclosures to you guys. As I mentioned, just the first one I brought their last meeting was quite detailed, so it was like 80 pages long. I dialed this one back just to the department level. So what that does, it makes it shorter for the agenda. It still has ultimately all the same information, just not as specific. But the comments I did try and keep as specific as I could. So I'm just trying to think. I don't think there was a whole lot that changed between this one and the last one. But I am happy to take questions, I guess. Or if you want me to go through them, I can.
About the water break,
The which, sorry?
for the water leak. Number 3.
Yeah, so Charles can probably speak a little more to that, but that
Yeah,
was.
so it was not actually water. It was a septic issue with our shop. There was a break in the line, the whole schmozzle. Kept freezing off. The solution from the first contractor was, well, just replace the pump. And that did not work. Come to find out, there was a bit of a break in the line, froze off. We had to put a whole new line from the shop to the CC stream.
Yeah, so
A lot of
that
aging
works
infrastructure.
quite a while, and I think that was like in May, but.
Look at that a little earlier.
But oftentimes with billing, the bills follow a little while later. Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot that has changed since the last time, which is normal. We're kind of just on the latter half of the busiest month, so the bills for all of the things that happened during these busy times kind of come now and in the next month or so.
So in your summary, Josh, at the end there, the variance, are those still to be paid? Or are they, like, I just looking at the Manning Capital, 15,000 variance, was that just kind of a contingency or was that?
Yeah, so that specific item was, it's always kind of based on things that they think they're gonna do, but aren't necessarily 100% committed from.
I remember that.
Yeah, so that's what we've paid so far. Whether or not the remainder will happen, I don't know.
Just on that capital one
Yeah.
specifically, remember there was a
Pickleball thing.
and there was also the windows in the Star Center
Yeah.
that we eventually replaced as part of the other grant.
Right.
Yeah, and that might have actually been 15. I don't remember off the top.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, the other one, so Peace River ICF, that was late this year actually, so that's half of it. As you can see it, that will be over budget. Again, it's one of those ones that's kind of tough to budget because we're delayed with some year ends in the timing of it. And then they've had quite a significant change in staffing, so. The lady who's looking after this right now, this was never her job to do, so she got us the information and then I had to follow up and get it through a month later and go. Was I to pay you on that or were you sending an invoice? And she's like, oh yeah, I just haven't had time, so they finally got the invoice sent. And bursaries, obviously, as of now, we physically gave the check to the other one, so those will be there in your next report. Miscellaneous grants hadn't changed until today, obviously. So the supplies from earlier are already ordered, so that'll be impacted in your next one as well.
Good, okay. Any other questions? Not, we have a motion to accept the budget variance report with information. Council fees, all in favor? Carried. And then the July 26 payment registry.
Yeah, so as always, I guess just here for your acceptance unless you have any questions or required clarification. That I saw. Happy to address it if there is anything that jumps out at you.
No, seeing none, I guess we have a motion to accept the payment registry, July payment registry's information. Councillor Reese. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Josh.
Yes, you're very welcome. And then just a quick update, I guess, but bank recs we're a little bit behind on now. I still haven't got notification of where to apply that last mortgage payment to. We'll probably just allocate that to suspense or something so we can carry on and keep that unapplied to tax accounts, but getting tired of letting that hold us up. They're 2 months behind now and I don't like that, so.
So to fill the agenda up with next meeting.
Yeah, those are easy ones.
All right, page 2, 6.3.1, item A is Director of Public Works report.
Yes.
Charles.
So, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, the rain has put a damper in a lot of things, one being the gravel haul. We were expecting to be completed up in Hawk Hills by the end of this week. Likely gonna be end of next week now. Just obviously rain delays. Everything's been going, knock on wood, very well. This year we've actually received more compliments than complaints, so. A++ on that aspect.
Is that gravel all coming out of Sun Valley or is it the stockpile?
Yeah, no, it's coming out of Sun Valley. Weberville backup generator, just as a bit of an update on this, because it's kind of a long drawn out project. They started in the spring, got all the building wiring done, did the underground wiring, and they completed the pad that the generator will sit on. Airport crack sealing is probably gonna be a little bit after mid-August, because he's also experiencing rain delays in other parts he's in. Not a fun time, but, soon, hope. We also received our assessments for the 2 bridge washouts that we are applying through ARP for funding for. That's, we're waiting to hear back from them. I believe the last email we've seen end of end of this month. If I remember right. And one other thing that I'm just gonna throw in here real quick, because it happened this morning. So there's a power blip for some reason that affected East Manning all the way down to Dixonville. There was a loss of pressure in Dixonville. One of the pumps didn't kick on, don't know why. Yes, it was reported. And so they had to do some flushing down there. Dixonville Hamlet lost water for a couple hours. Wasn't anything substantial. Should be good to go now, as far as I know. Residents have water back, so.
Yeah, maybe some comments on that. So we did get a notification from the environment.
Can we not talk about that?
I wanna talk about it, because what we probably need that we'll bring to the budget meeting is to put backup generators in all our pump stations.
So
and truck
Dixonville does.
Yeah, but it's not just Dixonville, there's also the one that was on Josh's line, for example. I don't know. what
That's
the name is.
different. Let's talk about that, not in here, please.
Yeah, you need to add it to the agenda, some capital items for backup generators.
What you need there is not a capital.
Okay, Charles,
That's it for me. Well, for this report anyway.
so I know some on your report, but just any comments on the presentation we had this morning about grant writing, like for STIP and for
Oh, for sure, yeah, I
new
can,
water lines and.
I can touch on that a bit because I see it as more in-depth presentation at Water North. It seems decent for what he's offering. I mean, at the end of the day, if the company is willing to, for some of these grants, do, well, if you're successful, we'll take our $500. If you get $10,000, my eyes are worth it. Depending on what the grant is for, obviously, we're not just gonna go run around and apply for solar panels on everything and. Right, like it needs to make sense for the municipality. I think it's worth administration digging into a little more in depth, but just kind of wanted him to have a chat with you guys and see if there is any appetite for a service like that. I know STIP wise for the bridge, I haven't talked to him any further, the separate, like our current bridge engineers offered to do it for $700. So that's $700 that, yeah, sure, they'll do our STIP application for us. But they're not guaranteeing anything, right? Neither are these guys, but they have their finger on the pulse of grants a little more than what Josh or I do. And that's the big perk with the Michael this morning, is that's what they're doing. They're talking to the administrators of these grants at the federal level, provincial level, and they know what they're looking for. Like he said,
Them together, which is something I wouldn't.
for sure. And I mean, I'm curious if there's anything for example, you want to expand distribution systems, is there anything in there to do an engineering study? As to where and what it would cost, what's a approximate construction cost, right, as of right now?
I think in 2027, I was reading that they're gonna bring back some of the water for life stuff, so that might be an opportunity to have a good grant writer, if they're gonna reopen that up in 2027.
Yeah.
To look at doing some expansions and things like
For
that.
sure, cause I mean, and. For myself, I mean, I do our STIP applications off the side of my desk, and yeah, sure, I can fill a form. And put all the information together. But maybe there's, and we all know it's oversubscribed. And I've preached this. So I'm not gonna get up on the soapbox, but the rating system. And the current rating of that Blue Bridge, for example. Is in my and other engineer, well, I shouldn't say other engineers, because I'm not an engineer. But in engineers' opinions, is not overly accurate. When you look at all of the information as a whole. Then you go and you look at what the structural percentage rating is, which is what they are basing a lot of where they're sending this money.
So you're
It
saying
doesn't have,
it's actually worse than what they're saying the reading is?
for sure, and that's why it's not,
It's not getting approved.
yeah, like we trying.
So maybe these guys have a better angle on that than, right?
Oh, 100%, like, and that's where I think this would be beneficial and the assistance from these guys that are doing, for example, our engineers go and throw together an application for us for $700. And they are doing this for other municipalities that are potentially getting
Competing with them.
right? Like, I mean, I look at where the money is going and it's a broken system as a whole, in my opinion. But I'm not gonna get up on my soapbox, so I can't let it off.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and I think there's like a reputation piece, like I think that they look at it and they go that way, because some of the ones, like I know, like Greenview, for example, they use Associated Engineering to do their grant writing, and they seem to consistently get STIP grants, like, and maybe it's just lucky, maybe their bridges are further, like, so don't quote me on it, it's just because they're using somebody else to write their grant, but like, I mean, we're really up against it, we got some seriously aging infrastructure, and if it's worth a gamble to have somebody else write it, then why not, right? I'd like to see it come back on a council agenda, and if we could get a copy of the slides, I know he said he sent them, but then we could read through them, because he was pretty rushed, which I think highlights our delegation versus presentation timelines, but that would be good.
And you did get the full picture on his analogy about the elephants.
Yeah.
What is it? It's a little more elaborate presentation, it actually makes sense.
He says his presentation is about an hour, and he did extend if the guys at council wanted to have that full hour, he will be more than happy to come back and present the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, something for our future procedural bylaws when we discuss that, I guess, it's allowing more time for presentations versus delegation.
Well, I think that we'd have to put it, something like that somewhere else on the agenda, not as a delegation,
Yeah.
and certainly have room to do that, right? That can. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the grand scheme though too, I think this is more of a presentation that like this, yeah, sure, gets the information to council as a whole. And in the future, like you said, he's willing to go and have this hour-long meeting. Well, whoever's available, this is the time we're doing it. It's gonna be a Teams meeting and let's go.
Yeah.
Are they going to also perhaps be bidding on some of the engineering work for those projects, though? Or will they be disqualified if they have this as an advantage? Is the only issue I see, because their competitor that they reference there is not engineers, it's just grant writers, but their fees are quite a bit steeper. But you
We have
know,
a contract in place with a engineering company to help us with the.
Yeah, bridge wise, yeah.
But I mean, we're looking beyond just bridges, right? I think we should be looking at all sources of
For
that
sure,
funding.
yeah.
And some of them aren't even involved engineers, right? I mean, if you want. may not, right? There could be grants out there, like these intermunicipal collaboration grants, there's no engineering involved there, and are we successful? Yeah, usually, but these guys could certainly elevate our success rate.
And wasn't it ISL that brought forward applying about a green grant or some kind of green
That was the green.
program,
Fund one.
whatever, yeah.
So you guys did spend money on that one up to a point, but then we just parked it.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, well, thanks for that, Charles. I think it's worthy that we will follow up with it.
Oh, I, that's why I kind of brought it forward to Gerard and showed him kind of what we had seen.
You did mention something about paving the street in front of the mayor's house, so.
So you're looking to get your range road paved there?
Got funded.
Yeah.
Okay, so any other questions for Charles? If not, we'll get a motion to accept the DPW report. Yep. Councillor Reese, all in favor? Carried. And the next item, request for decision on the same subdivision, return of the rule.
Back to you guys again.
You know, so
So I don't know how in depth you want me to go back into repeating myself on what we talked about with Pig River.
well, I think you should.
Okay, well,
Sure, we're all thinking the same.
yeah, so back a while ago, there was a subdivision created, developer agreement got entered into. Substantial amount of conditions within that developer's agreement were not followed. We never took ownership of the road, the internal roads. They're in very poor condition right now and require about $70,000 worth of rehabilitation and repairs. Council directed us to send a letter again to the developer as well as to the residents. As of today, I have not received a response from anybody. Now just looking where to go. What do I do? Do I keep grading the road? Do I go fix the road?
But it's not our road.
It's not our road.
So, but then I think we need to just stop maintaining the road, change the labeling in GIS to match accordingly and move on.
Yeah, so
How can we do that? We've got people living there that we're taxing and we're not,
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Gary, but to that point, we also have other subdivisions that are the exact same. QRE, sorry. There's another subdivision in that area that we advised against them building a road in a certain location. They went ahead and did it. They approached me every fall to take the road over. And every fall, well, I shouldn't say every fall, every other fall, I have to send them a letter saying, no, as per our previous yada yada.
but that's a little different. It's being looked at now, you're dealing with it now. This is like the cat that come and you start feeding it and now it's sort of there and you've got to deal with it, you know, like after 14 years, it's sort of.
There's too many animal analogies.
I do get your point, yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I do what you guys tell me to do.
Maybe they will contact him if we don't do the road, and that's something.
They've got nothing, they've got no hold on him. And the only thing that there'd be a hold is if he come and wanted some more acreages developed in there. That we could, you know, hold on him, but these people that are living there really don't have anything to stand on, you know, like, and we've been doing the work for so long that I just don't know where we can sort of drop it, really, you know, like.
Well, I guess maybe, let me use another analogy here, say you have a neighbor and the property line is not exactly where you thought, and say you've been mowing 20 feet of his lawn, thinking it's your own lawn, and you find out that actually that's his lawn, you keep mowing it?
That's not really the same thing. I mean, they're relying on us to get out and, like stuff like this, like it's, and we are charging them for living out there. I just can't see where we can drop it and let them fend for themselves.
The only thing is, the road isn't the only service that their taxes are paying.
No, but it's part of it,
Oh, for sure,
so.
I think it's just a crash
So-
situation all the way around.
So I agree in principle with what you're saying, Gary. I get it too. I mean, put yourself in their shoes, right? You bought this in good faith, this lot, developed a home there, thinking you're gonna have a road that met county standards or the developer, right? And it didn't. Now you're stuck there. So what's the solution going in with? Oh, the developer.
You're looking to be-
No, I'm just, the developer isn't willing to invest any more money, and it doesn't look like, right? Have you reached out to him since last meeting?
Yeah, so I sent him a letter after our last meeting,
So he's obviously not interested in,
and that's not the first letter he's received.
no,
So the only additional one that I sent out was to the residents to let them know, like, this is our situation right now. Because when we found that out, we have not gone in there with a grader,
So we have.
because at this point, and it's, you're touching roads that are not yours.
There. The developer's agreement, is that registered on their individual parcels as well, or just on the?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, two comments on that. So the first comment is that if we are gonna continue grading those roads, there's some of the other subdivisions that will come after us, for example, Cleveland's Flats and those type of those. That we are waiting for a actual sign off on the quality of the roads before we take the roads over. And the second part of that is that but the first one is quite important. We have to, because we have to
Yeah, but
keep that in mind.
yeah, I know that, but we can't just leave them guys high and dry. Is my point, like,
Maybe what we can do with them is do a local improvement tax on them to bring the road up to standard for once and then take over the road.
But
so.
Because this is a civil matter. This is a matter between, that was my other point. This is a civil matter. This is between the current owners there and the developer. We should not get involved with that.
are we sort of civilly, or like, is there some sort of legal thing going between us and the developer too, that, or have we just sort of written that off that,
It's in his end, so.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, if you look at the agreement we have in place with them, that's just after the RFP days. That's the agreement we have with the developer, that he will bring the road up to standard and then we'll take it over from him.
Who will bring it up to standards, the municipality?
No, the developer.
Yeah. I thought you said we, you said.
No. We have the agreement, is what I'm saying, between us and the developer. The other option is we bring it up to standard, but that would be a local improvement tax then that they can take and sue the developer for.
But then at the end of the day, that doesn't solve the problem of us still not owning the road. So we're doing a local improvement tax on somebody else's road and fixing it, and at the end of the day, we still don't own the road. The problem is the same. My thought is, I know it's not popular and I know it's not good, but I think we hands off, it's not our road. And then maybe that forces the developer's hand to have to do something for the residents, because that's on him. And maybe he's just sitting there in his back pocket thinking, oh, there's no way the county's gonna hold firm.
I don't know, I have no idea what,
The residents don't have anything to go on, you're right, so.
and I mean, we've
They
been
need to go after him.
charging them, taxes all along. And like they're sort of looking at us for, some part of it, so I haven't talked, I know one of them personally, I know the other one, or one of the two of them. I've met, and I don't know if there's an appetite for the tax like that, and what they. You know, what are the chances of them getting it? What on stone, or, you know, like, who knows, but
But that, yeah.
But just be careful, once we approve this one, we're gonna have Kalina's flats, we're gonna have a lot of them coming after us for the same deal.
But it's not that those other ones. They're still in the. You know, like we're looking at them in the works, but this is 14 years past. That's the part that is a little hard to.
Galina's Flats was not that far off of this though. Cause it was one that they kept going down and grading and.
Yeah, well,
And then and now, in that situation, they can't bring the road up to standard. Because they're so tight in there that. Right,
yeah,
as well as other concerns that we have with building infrastructure.
I think it's bad all the way around. I mean, you assume that when you buy developed property that it's
Yeah.
all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. And I think unfortunately, this just wasn't that situation, and absolutely horrible, and shame on us for all the amount of money and gravel and grading we've done, but when you know better, you do better. And unfortunately, it's now we know better, so now we have to do better, and it's not our road. So I firmly believe that we need to stop, make sure it's uploaded on GIS and that everything is good that way, and hopefully this forces the hand of the developer, and this gives those residents some leverage, because they'll have our motion to go on that it's not our road, this is our decision, and maybe it'll give them something to fight with.
they will have to at least. Inform of that with the letter or something.
Oh,
That's
100%.
100%, like, whatever council decides, that's.
And a letter is better for our benefit too, right? Because then we can say that we discussed it and this is the decision.
So just as a point of interest, I've never seen this road here, you've seen it, and you've seen it probably, how bad is it, like, do they actually get to the point you can't travel it, or? You said put rig mounts at one point, is that?
Yeah, it seems in really wet years, we have to go to extraordinary measures. We've dumped pit run in there, we've put, because it's built on topsoil. Right, that's what it was built on. Or I shouldn't say topsoil, black dirt,
Yeah, not clear.
organic material, right? So we've been dumping pit run 440. 1 year they had to do rig mats, just so that people could get in and out. So that's why the cost, like, it's not just like doing a quick little shoulder pull on whatever it is, 400 meters of road. No, this is a full remove and rebuild. Because you just can't build on that kind of material.
Well,
Which is why
I mean,
we,
it's just passenger traffic and it's pushing it out.
yeah,
Yeah, it's,
so.
there's not much for body there at all. I'm sure it's crossing a swamp, like, it's just. Like a woodshed.
Oh, yeah, that's 100% what my understanding is how they build that out, is they dug the ditches out, flopped that material. The loon stuff, into the structure of the road and slaps of gravel on it. Hey, county, come and deal with this. And don't get me wrong, I don't want it to be this way, but I also don't feel that the residents of the county should be on the hook for $70,000 worth of repairs to a road. Approximately, I keep saying 70, that's an approximate number. That somebody who entered into an agreement with us and said, yeah, no, we are going to follow steps XYZ. And then didn't, and turned around and went, okay, see you later. And then somewhere down the line, a grader operator with good intentions started grading it, and then it just kind of snowballed from there, right?
So. We have got no legal, legally, we don't have, anything to go after, it's gotta be the.
No, we don't own it, we don't, we've never taken possession of it, so.
But I mean, he's not upholding his end of the agreement with the county by not developing the road to the standards, right? So
100%, yeah, there's. A fair amount of clauses in that agreement that you.
So I mean,
it's
in answer
just
to
like-
Gary's question, we do have, you know, if we wanted to, not saying we want to, but we could say that he's in breach of his agreement by not developing road to standards.
I don't know what the.
So.
Yes, yes.
I was just wondering, and throughout this, while I was reading that, I was trying to figure out why they red lines in there, that name.
Oh, that was just to bring your attention to it, they're orange actually, it was just my orange highlighter.
The houses, not going to, say, why would they do that?
No, I sat there, cause I kind of prefer to read on paper, so I was just sitting there with my highlighter.
Okay.
Well, I guess I will put the motion on the floor and be the bad guy. And direct administration. Or like public work,
No, just do direct
Okay.
administration.
direct administration to cease maintenance on the Sims subdivision internal road. Does it have a number? It's not our road.
No.
Going forward and, send letters.
Until further notice.
Oh,
Well, we've already stopped till further notice, but.
cease maintenance. Let me know when you're caught up. Put it up. Cease maintenance on the Sims internal subdivision. On the Sims subdivision internal road, maybe we should call it.
You can give the legal part of. So he's from two, if you want to give.
Yeah, we can actually put that in there. So whenever you're ready for the legal, I can give it to you. On southeast 22, 84, 22, west of Fifth Meridian.
And send correspondence. To residents and developer regarding council's decision.
And on the,
Developer regarding council's decision.
Well, do you want to put in there to cease maintenance and, or to,
So I have,
yeah, no, it's up.
then just internal, and direct administration to cease maintenance on the Sims, because it's not listed in our GIS, is it?
Well, it has been,
Okay,
but
and
I will take it out of the GI, that's not an issue.
just, I'm thinking like if somebody logs into our public GIS, they're gonna see the level of service.
No, it'll be
On there.
done, it'll be taken off in like.
30 seconds. You know, I'm just trying to think of where people might see it, where it would be different.
No, it'll be changed here. ASAP.
maybe Jessica, where you describe the. The legal part of southeast, that's not. That's how it's described on the survey, so part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we get a chance to read that, I'll take correspondence, like just all the. Still a short road.
Let's see that. That's the shop.
See.
Sheila, you will pick it up.
The best.
My bad.
He's phonetically spelled it. Like spaghetti, you gotta add extra butter.
Okay, everybody had a chance to read that? Makes sense, and the final clarification,
Just council decision.
All in favor?
Right.
Okay, thanks, Charles.
Thank you, council.
I'm on the fence, and I can see both sides, I just,
Who wants to make sure the cat gets fed?
yeah. Sorry.
Okay, we can move down to ag services, appointment of summer lead pest inspector.
I could do my best Tegan impression, but I'll just stay in my place.
Aw.
Like, this is a pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is. So we had a previous weed inspector left us early. So we would just like to appoint Ava Petkus as the replacement weed inspector.
Okay, Councillor Deccan moves that we appoint Ava Petkus as a replacement weed inspector for the summer of 2026. All in favor? It's carried. Get to our next meeting yet. Board and committee reports were there for your review. Any comments coming out, otherwise get a motion to accept them.
Sorry, I forgot to put my upcoming meetings for the next month. Okay, try better.
Okay, looking for motion to accept the board reports.
I forgot to put in my. I attended, helping decorate the. From the memorial for the roll out the next day, yeah.
Make a motion, nobody?
Nobody.
I can, you're. All in favor? Carried. Info package. Any discussion coming out of it? There's a lot later. Okay. Which was good. Okay, give a motion to accept the info package as information. All, Councillor Reese, all in favor? Carried. We need down to open mic.
That's just on our meeting. We have open mic, it's just on about talking about this meeting.
And also, Dan, got some clarification on anything, or?
Yeah, so the meeting is canceled on August 25. For council,
That's true, that's right.
and the ribbon cutting in Fairview. I'll have to see if I can do that. That looks like very.
That'd be a good news story.
Well, it just said Fairview's out of my coverage area, so I'll have to have a conversation.
Was this Fairview?
Talk about Dixonville or Fairview. We got two
Oh,
ground.
the one I'm going to in Dixonville for sure.
Oh, it's Fairview, you're not sure about, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so who's engineering the call to action letter? I saw that the letter is unsigned, but I'm wondering, is it the National Police Federation?
That's right.
Okay. Linda, you expressed some reservations about Priya, however, you didn't support Brent's motion. Can you sort of express your concerns about Priya?
The way I feel is that I think
Could
we
you
should
say
be
a
looking at.
little louder, please?
Okay, the way I feel is that I think that we should be looking at other economic developments.
Yeah,
That's all, with the committee. I think they should also be, like you said, solar panel, or I don't care, just, we should be looking at other things too, because that's what it was going to be done.
you want Priya to examine the larger picture.
Are you aware of any?
Well, I can find you a few and let you know. Yeah, because there's been a few people that have said they wanted to bring stuff here and haven't had any, I don't know, communication about that, and asking them to show me that.
I'd love to see that, because I heard everything in council.
Yeah, I know you do, yeah.
Right, you know, I had a repair call me the other day, why aren't we advocating for natural gas, well,
Yeah.
plants, so I said, well, number one, we're not advocates for it, and number two, there's been nobody to date has brought anything forward, right, I mean, everybody has all their own ideas and notions, and that's great, but,
I know that council supported one of Mr. Nell's benches with a motion and a letter of support.
carbon.
And I don't know, the carbon capture thing, I don't think anything happened. Never heard
And that's
about
one
it.
that I was told.
Yeah, we sent a letter of support from the council.
Yeah.
No, from council.
So, yeah.
He never asked me from here.
Anything else, Dan?
Yes, who from council is attending the ribbon cutting then, Municipal?
So,
Alright,
we'll do Rich.
Okay. Council,
And also Brenda.
And Brett.
Brenda, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We assume, and she's not here, but be surprised if she doesn't. She's on the board and.
okay, Dan, it's Yazinski, Decken, Beast, and Reeve will be going to the Dixonville ribbon cutting.
Alright. Feel like I'm jumping into a boiling cauldron of this, but how many people does the road in the Sims subdivision serve? Is that 3 residents?
Yep.
And that's a 400-meter road?
Approximately, it's a T. Of road, right, so it, yeah, runs east, west, and north, south.
And it's in the Weberville area, that's north of Range Road 222.
It's actually off of Range Road 222 to the west.
To the west. Okay. That's it.
Anything else?
Yeah, weed inspector. I talked about the weed inspector. How did they do their inspection? Do they drive around and take a look at the country, or do they just go by the
Little hole, actually,
Hey,
little hole. Cause
So then-
the weed inspectors are also the weed sprayers.
Next week.
so then what are they doing with the organic farms? Like a lot of those fields of solid thistle, wall to wall. There's gonna be a war out there pretty soon. Because they just blow that seed all over the place.
It's not obnoxiousness.
You can call it whatever you want to. It was on the obnoxious list and we took it off.
We did.
We did not take it off. Promise thing.
Well. A lot of them farmers
By any
are trying to
means.
control it all the time, yet they're not.
Deegan Scotch is our egg fieldman, you can grab a card, she's happy to talk to you anytime.
Who?
Deegan Scott. She's our egg fieldman.
No.
Yeah, well, her card's there, she's out spraying actually today, that's why I had to appoint her inspector. So her card's up at the front though.
Another one is, all this land that's being cleared and the stuff that's being cleared around creeks. I understood that they couldn't clear all the brush around the creeks. And I know in some land there are, the one in West and North Star that those guys they cleared everything. They've even got that track stuck in that creek a couple of times. Now, I don't know if anybody is looking at it from the county of Northern Lights, or do we gotta get a hold of Oceans and Fisheries?
So Alberta Environment.
Hmm?
Alberta Environment would deal with that.
I'll get you a phone number.
Okay, because they were never supposed to cut all that brush along the creeks. From what I understand, if they changed the laws, we should know about it, so we can start clearing some more brush out. Because that's not right. Somebody's gonna get flooded out again here pretty soon.
Okay, anything else?
Go ahead.
Yes, Bill, pretty start. Let's go over some ground rules. We had a discussion about this open session. And got some concerns about some of the things you said here. First of all, you may not be aware of this, but the municipal government act does not mandate that we have an open session. We do this as a courtesy to our residents. Now, you've made some comments over the last few months that we feel are crossing the line. For example, you've called people parasites here. The last meeting, you made a crude remark about people pulling their pants down, okay? So if you go to a bar and a restaurant and you make comments like that, and you've also alluded to the fact that you question council's competence and things like that. So the appetite for this is getting pretty slim. So the chair can shut down the floor at any point you start crossing for stuff. Now, if you got something pertinent on the agenda to deal with, that's fine, but some of this other stuff, you're on notice though, you're not getting around with it. So go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll say what I got to say, and if you don't like it, stop me, but I think it's my right as your boss to tell you what I think about how you're doing your job. So number one, I understand at the start of each meeting, you do this land acknowledgement, and to me, it makes no difference. But I have the feeling you should also make an announcement that you are spending ratepayers' money. And every time you do, I see in the paper all the time, it says council grants. That should be changed to ratepayers' grants. It is our money that you are giving away. It's not your money. Council has no money. It is all of our taxpayers. Number two, I thank you for having the ratepayers meeting. I know we had to prod you quite a bit, but I'm really glad you did. They were really good. The only concern I have, and I'm not sure if Linda meant this. I gotta clarify this. I think I was mentioned in her report in a roundabout way as a regular attendee. I've never been referred to that as before, but I think that's me. Somewhere along the line, and you may take offense to this, you guys believe in democracy because you were voted in by the people. Then once you're in there, democracy seems to go out the window. We've had this discussion, Brent, you said, because I disagree with you guys giving away money, and he says, well, we're representing people who want to give away money. In the last 5 years, I can only remember council asking us, the ratepayers, 3 questions. One was, do you want nuclear power? And you prefaced it by saying, no matter what you say, it's non-binding. And we voted, no, we don't. Number 2 was, do you want more information? And the majority of people voted for more information, and you guys tout that all the time, you need more information. You've been going to meetings for 2 years, and Priya has not answered one question. You have not given us any information whatsoever. So why are you continually going to these meetings to gather information to give to the people that you claim voted to get the information, but you're not giving us any information about this, whatever Priya's doing and looking into this nuclear power plant. And the third thing you asked was, what should we do with the ice rink in North Star? 5 people responded. Something as simple as that. You need to ask people's questions, but all this other stuff just goes uncovered. I pay approximately $1,000 a year taxes to the county. County spent approximately, well, they did $1,000 on pink t-shirts for the bullying campaign. I noticed in the package today, I looked at the pictures, nobody on the float wore their pink t-shirts. So I'm thinking, I paid my taxes, you guys took that $1,000, bought t-shirts, there, my money's all gone.
We wore blue ones because it was for the
Comments.
pink was another, the pink was for another thing. Pink was for.
Anti-bullying.
That was anti-bullying, so I thought one of you were.
Every time, you do it on the day that it's happening. And those t-shirts are here for anybody else.
I'll wear mine next week.
Me too.
Okay. Yes.
I appreciate your ward reports and telling me all the meetings you go to, but I still don't feel that I'm getting information in the reports of what information you gathered at each of these meetings that is helpful to me as a ratepayer. Like the report says, I went to this meeting and we had a great time and we learned something. What did you learn? What did you bring back to council to make a better decision? This I'm not sure what happened. And Linda may understand. When we had the meeting in Keg River, every time I look on the schedule, it seemed to be changing from day to day. It was the 21st, then it was the 17th. And it was really confusing, and I don't know what happened there, but I just thought I'd bring it up in case nobody else noticed that. And I almost missed it because the calendar said a different date than what it actually happened. So I know you guys are working on the calendars, so that would be nice to have. So, and again, you may not like this one. I've sat in now the meeting since the first this year. And I watched you guys as you have your meeting. And I can tell, for the most part, most of you do not read this package before you come to the meeting. Because when you start discussing it, the answer is usually in the package, and you're asking the question, and the answer was there if you would have read it. And that is really disconcerting when your policy states you're getting paid $1,600 a month to be prepared for the meetings. It only takes me an hour to read this whole stinking package. You guys are getting paid $1,800 when you do 2 or 3 meetings. But anyway, that's just, and it just frustrates that so much time is wasted reading the report. Like Charles reads his report. You guys can just, yeah, I approve it because you already read it.
Not everybody has a copy of what we get, so that's why sometimes these guys say what they put in their report. Not everybody gets online or gets the minutes given to them before the meeting.
The only way I every Friday, I go on the computer and there's the minutes, the whole package is there.
There's a lot of people that do not even look at.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Okay,
And then
so,
this one, I only got a bit left.
well,
That's
This one really, during the ratepayers meetings, there was questions about nuclear quite a bit, and today nuclear. And questions were brought up about PREA. And it's really disconcerting that when a question is asked about PREA, our Reeve, who is also the chairman of PREA, pretends he knows absolutely nothing about what's going on in PREA. And we've had comments, well, we're just 2 people that get to vote in it, and we really have no say on what happens in PREA. If you don't know what, or you don't have a say in PREA, why are you even there? Because the people already said, we don't want nuclear, so why are you there? Gary just made the comment, how can you leave the people in Sims high and dry after you've been looking after them for 14 years? Just at a previous meeting, you made a motion to stop snowplowing private driveways, left everybody high and dry. And there was lots of complaints about that. And have you done anything about that? No. But so you leave people high and dry all the time. Thank you.
so decisions on locations, don't know that. I guess the decision we kind of made during the report is that we would probably.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't know
request
if we need
to-
a motion for that, like if you just. I mean, it'd be kind of nice to. Come to my mind to engage with them a little more.
Have the full report, have the full presentation.
Yeah, or yeah, if you want us to set the full presentation. It can, obviously virtual works best for him.
Yeah.
In
I mean,
Saskatchewan.
would we be able to fit it in a regular meeting?
I don't think we should do it during a regular meeting. I think it's more. You guys have, we've given the broad scope of it. It's an hour long, like,
Yeah, I mean, if his presentation is an hour, we probably got another hour of question and answers, or
well, that's just it,
But we
right?
just
Jay,
have
if I-
question and answer.
everybody's talking here. Okay, go ahead, Jared.
So maybe we should do it as a meeting because they are disclosing some of the intellectual property during the presentation. And I don't think it would be appropriate if we actually broadcast that because we are saving a copy of the council meeting online. So I recommend we do it as a meeting. They send us a meeting request, we all go online virtually and listen to what they have to say about how they actually prepare the.
So put it on the agenda for regular meetings, what you suggest?
No. Just a separate meeting.
Separate
a meeting.
Yeah, but. Okay, Leslie, you have something?
Yeah. To me, he's already kind of gave his spiel. So all we need to do is ask questions about more questions than what we did now.
I don't know if that's true, like, you have a lot more.
Well, there's questions that I have for him that I'm not going to ask in public. Because
Yeah,
similar to what
exactly,
Garrett said,
that's what-
there's.
So,
And
yeah.
this presentation, based on what we've seen so far, is gonna be a lot of it, like FCM oriented, that's not really.
Not really what's with the phrase, and it should be done.
Free money is free money. In a sense, right? Money is money.
Yeah, well-
We call it free money, but.
Yeah, well, our focus is more on the stick end of it, that was our.
Well, that's probably the primary one, but I think we should.
Yeah,
A little more broad thinking, there could be other things.
I think they have a fairly good, like I said, finger on the pulse of what is out there. What's coming up? Is there water for life stuff coming up? Is there? There might be lots of other things coming up that we don't know
We're taking on fire services, maybe there's something relevant to that, right?
Yeah.
So,
I agree. I think we need to have a separate meeting because I don't think it got a fair shake today. It was a very rushed presentation and it was hard to digest and keep up. And I would like the opportunity to read the slides and hear the whole thing to make an informed decision, not based on a 15-minute cram it in.
so Councillor Deccan has made a suggestion, and I don't know what the administration thinks, but we planned a meeting on the 18th to complete our strategic plan review. Would that allow us time for that as well? We'll all be gathered anyway. Because we're halfway through that strategic plan stuff, right? There's only, I think, 3 items left.
We're literally halfway now.
And we're starting at 9 that morning, so maybe by noon we're done. Or, and then we can schedule associated. See if that works for Mike, if he's available on the.
I'll Jess has his number and or his email, so she can coordinate all that for you guys.
Yeah.
And if not, then we'll have to look at it, obviously, but
Taking my
it'd be nice to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? But,
For sure. We're already meeting.
yeah, you don't need a motion for that, we just gotta reach out and see if he's available. Okay, so that would be no decision on a delegation, and other than that,
Do you need a motion to direct you to go ahead and reach out to him and schedule that? No? One saying yes, one saying no. All we need.
like City Hall.
I don't think we do.
You just,
Yes.
But it's a decision.
I know,
that we're
no,
making.
no, I'm mute on this one. I have the motion here, but I can easily just.
yes,
I'm just thinking, everybody keeps saying that we're not letting people know what we're doing, or we're talking to these guys, and now we want to give us a presentation, so I think we need a motion.
I'll put the motion on the floor that we have administration reach out to Associated Engineering and see if they can coordinate a virtual meeting on the 18th. Following our strategic plan, and if not, let us know alternate dates.
I wouldn't even say following, I would just say that date, maybe they're only available in the morning. You can be flexible. Okay, all in favor? Okay, we got a couple of camera items. Do you want to have a quick break before we head into them? How long are we gonna take?
One is,
Mine's pretty quick.
and then the other one is Pearl's. Pearl, how long do you think your in-camera will take?
5-10 minutes.
There,
Let's follow through them and then we'll take a break before we get into the audience meeting.
we just need a.
You were saying before the people out street, you sprung that for everything.
And that's my.
Great roads, it is.
Then the East Ferry Road, the camera, or in favor,
1 acre.
carried.
If you have problems on your subdivision, for example,
Yes.
we'll be off the line. Good, thanks.
Thanks, Abby. Senior, Dixonville, not senior.
Wait. They didn't put them on the.
Don't separate, don't listen.
Not really, I think too crazy on it.
Ran out of orange paper now.
Well, I think, Sam is what they tell us. Yeah.
This doesn't look the same color of the fish that Jonathan wrote.
Hey, can I leave you on the washroom?
Just making.
Well,
Terry.
Renting.
Oh. We're there though.
I don't know if I'm in there for
You
you.
shouldn't be able to say anything more unless it pertains to it. Or.
And you got
Just tell them it's the house.
mention that you'll know.
Sure, how confident are you?
Wait, no.
I don't think I heard that nice voice.
Well, we're muted.
And they don't call it council grants. The one that's asking that.
This is,
How long has it been called council grants?
this is Phil Buzzard, grant.
10.5 plus years. Yeah, I can't speak to it.
No, but I mean, that's been called council grants.
When Jim was on there,
He was on
L'Oreal, when Jim was on there with them, they had council gas.
So